Can
We're
we
gonna
use
cut.
any
No,
of
we,
this?
no, we're not gonna use any.
Oh
of that.
my god!
I don't
it's
think we
going out
should.
to like
I want.
the
I'm gonna be.
public.
A teacher. I can't do that.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
think we
say.
should do over this cold
You're
open.
gonna. I mean, I'm just gonna cut in at
You know.
some point.
You know what I'm gonna say. I've been listening, and I told you, Malcolm. I haven't told you this yet, but I told Patrick and Maddie that I've been listening to "Take My Breath Away" by Berlin from
I
Top
have to.
Gun.
I
It's
have to.
fucking amazing. I love the song,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about it. That's the cold open.
I could hear that. I wasn't even in the mic.
I know. I had to crank
Wait, now-
myself down for a
That's
second.
actually
Oh.
Honestly,
an
Mark, I've been
unbelievable
listening
level.
to it all day long.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
All day long I listen to it.
I just want to comment on. Yeah, you're right, Malcolm. The fact that we heard it not through the mic, so that fart.
What
that's
exactly
crazy.
did you
It
hear?
sounded like
Your fart.
You heard my fart?
Yeah. I wonder if it got picked up at all by
I
the
don't know.
mic.
Oh, I
don't
turned
think it
my
did.
mic specifically down so it wouldn't get
Are you?
picked up.
Bro, you're so lame.
Do you really think people want to hear me ripping ass right into the
course.
mic?
I know that we need it as a soundbite.
Do That's great. That's wonderful.
I would love to reduce. I'd like to minimize the amount of sounds that we do. External sounds.
External sounds.
That's right.
I think I agree with that, except when it comes to bodily sounds.
Now we just watched Top Gun last night,
That's
which is
right.
why
Pretty
this song
good.
is on the brain for all you guys. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. Danger Zone, always on my mind.
Banger. Also, I'll say this. I was pretty impressed with it. I feel like I went into it being like, this is gonna be terrible. This is gonna be like, I don't like Die Hard. Hot take. I think it's a terrible movie. I'll give it another shot at some point, but I didn't
think-
like it. And
Yeah.
this movie, I went in being like, this is gonna be another shitty 80s action movie. And I was kind of like looking forward to watching Harry Potter, the other movie that we've been wanting to watch.
God.
And then as soon as it started, I was like, fuck, here we go. And then it fucking pulled me in.
Yeah.
It's
I made
it's
myself
cool plane shit.
I made myself clear not being excited to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
You did. You actually screamed, no!
Well, I
screamed loud.
think I also kind of like
You
tempered
played it
your
down.
guys'
yeah.
expectation.
You said
But
it's
that
like the
wasn't-
worst Top Gun and like
it's
not a great
definitely-
movie.
It's definitely the worst
Yeah.
Top Gun. But that wasn't me trying
only
to
two.
like exactly. But that wasn't me trying to like undersell it intentionally to you guys. That is because the first time I watched it, I went in expecting, Predator, Terminator, like
Wow.
one of these like 80s action movies, and then watching it when it's really kind of like this drama with like romance stuff thrown in there and some plain shit. I was kind of like let down by it, but watching it again yesterday, that's why I told you guys going into it, I was like, like let's just get through it so we can get to Maverick. But then watching it yesterday, I was like, I enjoyed it way more the second
Well,
time. I was like, holy shit! I was
when-
like, this
when you-
movie's good.
When you talked to us about it the first time, you said that it's like a little bit of, plain action, but a lot of it was kind of like a romantic, maybe a rom-com or like a romantic movie about him and Charlie.
Right.
But when I watched it, I was like, I don't agree with you. I feel like it was a lot of plain
There's a
action.
surprising amount of plain stuff.
Yeah.
Because you were like, it's a little bit in the beginning, a little bit in the end, and like
Yeah.
maybe one or two moments
But it's a
throughout.
lot.
But it's like 50-50 almost.
Whatever-
Honestly,
whatever
going
it
into
is,
it, I had
yeah.
the same opinion as Mark. I thought it was gonna be Garbo, and I was really not looking forward to it. And it was great. All day long, I was going. That was a very enjoyable
I
movie.
think
Right?
I think we can all agree that Tom Cruise was the grizzly bear. Sorry.
He was.
I was about
in
to say
fact-
grizzly.
Dude,
That's
he
okay,
had
was the grizzly
he
bear.
had her in his back pocket
Oh my
the
God,
entire film.
yes.
Yeah, him and what's the
Yes.
actress's name? I already forget.
I don't know.
McGillis.
Some weird looking
Karen
girl.
Karen McGillis.
Karen McGillis,
Or-
Katie McGinnis,
McGinnis.
something like that.
McGinnis.
Charlie in the movie.
Yeah, some
They
weird-looking
have
one.
great chemistry.
They do have
together.
great
They do.
chemistry.
Like
And-
That's great.
immediately, it's like these people are
Hello?
gonna fuck.
Hello.
but also
Hello?
it's so
Good here.
their
Mhm.
Okay. Perfect.
their relationship is so predictable,
Mhm.
but it's still enjoyable. Like
Mhm.
I was even there was the one moment where Tom Cruise like says the cheesiest fucking line,
Mhm.
and I turned to you guys and I was like, "That's so cheesy," and I
Oh.
love it.
And that's the
That's
thing.
so
I
cheesy,
feel
I
like
love it.
I feel like Top Gun is an example of an '80s movie that is like filled with '80 cheese, but in like the best possible way.
100%.
Like
I'm
it's
gonna
not
have to
like
cut. I'm gonna have to cut all of you guys off right now. This is the longest cold open ever.
well, like I said, we're gonna interject because I think we're gonna skip past the part about us talking about boners.
Now, why do you have a bracelet that says "fuck" on it?
I was gifted this by my girlfriend.
Can you guess?
Nice.
Wow.
Can you guess
That's quite the gift.
what he? So he owns multiple of those bracelets. I want you to guess what another one of those bracelets say on it.
Come.
Boobs,
No,
cunt,
It's
no.
The other
Maddie?
the other one is
Almost.
her name.
Varsha.
Varsh.
Mhm. The
Just
other one's-
Varsh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
just
other one's
Varsh.
just Var, and then this
But
one.
why is it green?
Fuck, I don't know.
Do you like green? You like
She
blue.
likes green.
Your
Green's her
favorite?
color.
Oh, green's my color.
Wow, look at that. You guys have a lot in
Why are you
common.
saying
You're
it-
trying to steal my girl, you fuck?
Why are you
Whoa,
saying
whoa, whoa.
Why are you saying green is your color? You mean
Like,
like,
as
it's your
in,
favorite?
like-
It's your favorite
Well,
color.
As
he
if-
said.
as if he
Why didn't
owns
you
it.
question when he said green is her color?
You're gonna have to stop coughing, sir.
And if you're gonna cough away from that. What are you looking at?
He's playing a game on his phone.
Fuck are you look? You're playing a game while we're doing the podcast. You got your
I'm
fucking
just
mind.
talking. I'm just talking.
You know what I mean? Welcome back, everybody, to Wildly Adequate, the podcast somehow about everything and nothing at the exact same time. I am 1/4 of your podcasting crew, Mr. Matthew Urso, and I am joined today, as always, by the same three schmucks.
P. Fahim.
Mark.
Malcolm.
Wow, look at the energy just emanating out of everybody right now. How's everybody doing today?
My new intro line is going to be the brains and the brawn of the show.
Mm.
Nah?
At some point, I want to get introductions for all of you, so I can be like, you know, the Egyptian emperor or whatever.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
but the problem
The
is
Egyptian emperor? Do you know anything about
they use pharaohs.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks, but it sounds better than the alliteration. But the problem is you and Mark are both Egyptians, so like
No, I'm the pharaoh. I think Mark knows that.
How about
You're the
Patrick the,
pharaoh? I think
pyramid
so.
schemer?
Patrick the Pyramid Schemer is pretty.
Fuck you.
But what I'm saying is I gotta like come up with like intros for you guys, so I can be like, you know, the blah blah blah, and then like you know what your
could
intro
we have
is.
like animated characters? Like
That'd be
intro,
pretty
like,
Are you gonna animate it?
no.
Well, then we'll see what happens.
No.
Anyways,
What was that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody must have dropped something upstairs, or the house
Mark
is
the
falling
Maverick?
apart.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
I hate it.
He doesn't like Tom Cruise like that.
I like Tom Cruise.
Do you?
Not like that though.
He's not deeply in love with Tom Cruise. Anyways, folks, you know how this works. We each bring a topic, we discuss, and it is what it is.
Is that making noise?
Yeah, you were rubbing
Oh,
it. It's making
I'm
noise.
sorry.
Patrick, stop rubbing. Anyways, so apparently I'm starting today. Fellas, I'd like to talk to you about something that's been on my mind since I was a wee boy and persists to this day. Aliens. Not the movie.
Great movie.
Great movie. Not the movie, but the concept of aliens.
Okay.
Do you think they exist? In what capacity? All that fun stuff.
Surely they exist. They've gotta.
Here's my thing. I guess I'll kick this keg stand off because I'm fired up. Not really. I'm interested in this shit. I am obsessed with the idea of aliens, and I pray to sweet baby Jesus every day that I hope they're real and that I hope we find them. And
Can I ask you a question?
yes,
Why don't you pray to adult Jesus?
I liked him more, you know, in his early years before he
More
like,
innocent.
Yeah, when he was more innocent, before he started doing the whole like water into wine and
Yeah,
all
but
that.
before he started having all those opinions.
Yeah, before when he was just a simple
Wow.
when he was just a simple dude. But anyways, I am just fascinated in the idea of finding aliens. Here's the thing. A lot of people infinitely smarter than myself will say that the likelihood of there being life out somewhere in the universe is pretty goddamn high. My concern is that we're going to find something one day that's going to be like some little amoeba or like a germ or some like single-celled little piece of shit.
Haven't they found that on like one of the moons of Jupiter or something?
I don't think so. I think it's more they've found like water and stuff like that, or like patches of ice on some other planets and stuff. So obviously,
Where
just
there's
frozen
water, there's life.
I didn't even know there
You
was
would assume so.
I didn't even know there was multiple moons on Jupiter. That's cool.
On Jupiter?
Or like I mean, I didn't
Orbiting?
know. I didn't know there was multiple moons around Jupiter.
Yeah, I think there's.
I think there's
hundreds.
at least two, right? Hundreds of moons
Or is that
around
uh,
Jupiter.
Or is that Saturn? One of the planets in our solar system have many moons orbiting it.
Do you mean like asteroids and like little
no,
celestial bodies or moons?
Moons.
Based on
bro.
how unsure you are, I don't trust anything you're saying.
We can.
I
quick Google search away.
I can't be certain enough to. I don't know enough to disprove them, so I have to. I have
Let's
to
just
believe
agree.
So
it.
yeah, back to it. I agree. In my mind, there's no doubt that aliens exist,
Mhm.
and it's just that thinking that the universe is infinite.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be something out there, and there's got to be something out there way smarter than us.
It
Well,
looks
that's
like.
the
Sorry to
thing.
cut you guys off there.
Oh,
It looks like
please.
it's 61 moons.
On what?
Jupiter. That
Oh,
orbit
okay.
Jupiter.
And what was your initial assertion?
I said
Hundreds.
hundreds. That's
Yeah.
that's
It's not
my
that bad
fault.
actually.
not my-
Everybody dunk on
It's
his
better than
ass.
2.
Now, if we're gonna continue this conversation, I think we need to all be on the same page with what we mean by aliens. Like,
Well,
if we're gonna just all accept like aliens is literally any life, like an amoeba on any other planet, then I'm sure
It's
we're all on the
100%.
same page.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I don't know if there are like super complex aliens that are like more advanced than we are. There might be. I think it's
Mm.
kind of
So should we say intelligent life forms?
I think that'd be a good definition.
Sure.
Is that what you're talking about, Maddie?
Well, I'm just interested in the idea of aliens, period. Like, to me, us finding some small single-celled thing on some other planet is like it's like top 3
Yep.
biggest discoveries in like humans.
Imagine
in
if we found
humanity's
like
history.
space cows.
But that's the thing. I think if we found something that was like more complex than that, but not necessarily like, you know, little
Yeah.
green men from Mars, like if you found, let's say, the equivalent of like an alien animal,
Yeah.
like something that was like had some sort of intelligence, but it's just an animal.
Dude,
like,
what if we found them and they're exactly like we put them in the movies? Like they're like green,
just big heads,
round
with the big
head.
black
Yeah.
eyes.
Like we fucking we nailed it.
nailed it.
We
that would
nailed
be
it.
that would be such a big coincidence that immediately I'd be like, well, somebody knew.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Like somebody must have like been in contact with these things and
Yeah.
known. Like there's no way you hit that out of the park.
you know who didn't nail
that
it though?
perfectly.
If that was the reality, Ridley Scott blew it. He didn't do it well at all. Right, in
This
the
is
Alien
true,
movie?
the big scary looking thing. And see, that's the thing. When it comes to finding intelligent life, that is obviously much more interesting to me. I hope it's true, or I hope we get there. But at the same time, that's such. I just have a feeling that's going to go so poorly. Like that's going to be such a catastrophic thing
Good.
for humanity.
You know what that reminds me
to
of?
find stuff.
I think you're right, and I think to me when I was watching, remember Arrival? You've seen
Mm,
Arrival.
Yes.
The way they deal with it in that movie is exactly how it would go in real life. It's like worldwide panic.
Mhm.
Everyone's in lockdown mode. Each
Mhm.
government is like freaking out and trying to deal with it in their own way. Like China's trying to like work with them and like get weapons.
Oh
and
my
shit.
god,
Like, it's
that's exactly what China would do too, right? But America would do.
Wow, you just called out the Chinese government like that.
But hold on, let me build on my point. I feel like America would do that too. Like,
Yeah, everybody
I
would
feel
try
like it
and
would be a
exploit it.
race to like who has the relationship with the aliens, so that they
Yes.
can dominate.
Yeah.
Yes.
In the movie, it was really interesting. It was basically that each government was trying to like decipher the language of the aliens.
Yeah,
So the aliens would talk with like these like weird mist symbols and stuff,
yeah.
and there was no actual noise. So it was like every government's racing to try to figure out what they want and like why they're here.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it would be like in real life. Great fucking movie, by the way. Love that movie.
It's real good. But that's the thing too, when it's like in terms of intelligent life, if we found, let's say, like the equivalent of Neanderthals
Mm.
on another planet.
Oh, I think we should enslave them immediately.
Okay. Well, that's one way of handling it. I think that would be like groundbreaking, like also really like scary, but like knowing that there's intelligent life out there, but if it's not necessarily like on par or better than us, I
Yeah.
think would be
We
like
can use them to our advantage.
no, but I don't think it would be as big of a deal. Whereas my thing is like if we find something out there one day that is like
Hold on, you're saying an amoeba would be top 3 discoveries, but a Neanderthal wouldn't
no,
be?
I'm saying any sort of
Oh, okay.
alien discovery is on that level. But to
Okay.
me, it's just like in terms of like how Earth reacts. If we find out there's an amoeba somewhere, we go like, wow, what a like fascinating, groundbreaking thing in like the planet's history that we found. If we find like a cow, same kind of thing. We
If
start
we found a cow, that'd be crazy. What do you mean?
space cow.
Like
Yeah.
a normal, it's a normal looking cow.
Just an Earth cow.
Farmers would go wild for that, bro.
Mhm.
They
I
wanna,
bet you'd make a good burger.
imagine if they made like triple the milk.
Dude, yeah, we should just make a burger out
Just
of
make
it.
a burger out of the space cows immediately. But the thing I'm saying is like if we found something intelligent that like wasn't necessarily on par with
Space
us.
Burger. That's
Yes,
the
a Space
restaurant.
Burger.
That's the restaurant chain.
Space
name.
Burger King. That would be like a discovery in and of itself. But my thing is like if we ever find something better than us, like more advanced than us, that's when I think shit goes south.
See, this is
here
the
on
thing that
Earth.
I can't understand. If there's something better than us, then they're finding us. We're not finding them.
That's
Sure,
true.
but that's also even more horrifying because
Yeah.
put it this way: if we found, let's say, if we, because you know we've all these telescopes, like it's getting better and better. There's all those like amazing images from like the last few months of the new
Mhm.
telescopes.
Yeah.
If we ever saw something, you know, way the hell out there one day that we knew was like infinitely more intelligent than us, that's like a horrifying thing. But what I'm saying is like it's even more horrifying if they come to us.
Mm.
That's a whole other.
You know what's even more horrifying than that is
Mm.
if they've already discovered us and they're just like keeping it in their back pocket.
Yes,
That would be
that is the
terrifying.
other thing.
Deal with them later.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the kind of like I don't mean for it to get like too science fiction when I talk about this stuff, but like it just sort of that's just kind of the way it usually goes with these kinds of conversations. But that's the shit I'm interested in is like the idea of like is there stuff already out there that knows we exist? Because this is the other thing. There is a possibility that there's things out there that are like on par with us but not as advanced. So there is a reality of like some other planet way the hell out there that can see us, but can't do the whole like, you know, travel between planets and shit, and just looking at us like there's something weird going on over there,
Yeah.
but like we have no way of,
I mean,
you know.
the possibilities are endless. But to me, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's because I'm like, I don't know, like humanity's ego and stuff. But
Mm.
I've always thought that there's going to be definitely microorganisms and little amoebas and stuff like that.
Mm.
But to think of a species that's like more advanced than us and has better technology, it's like my mind just goes to, oh, that's just sci-fi bullshit, and like I can't even imagine that being a thing.
Mm.
That's so scary. And then to me, it's always going to be like, yeah, we're just gonna find like amoebas and that's about it. Like I don't know. That's just the way my brain.
Has anyone seen the Joe Rogan episode podcast where he's talking with a guy named Bob Lazar?
Yes.
What do you think about that?
See, that's the thing too, which is a whole other side of the conversation which fascinates me, which is the people who like claim to have seen shit. And I'm not talking about like people who are like, I was abducted and probed. Like somebody like that
Yes,
Bob Lazar
please.
guy who is like worked at Area 51. Like there is documentation to like prove this. So this was somebody like in the government at this place working there, and then who comes out and is like, hey, there was like weird crafts and shit we found, and like metals we didn't understand, and propulsion systems we didn't understand, because it's like, you know, the Earth perception of a propulsion system is you burn something like jet fuel that creates the propulsion. That's how your fucking plane flies. Whereas like somebody like him comes and talks, and it's like, yeah, it's this thing that like there's no like engines or jets on it. Like it just like goes through space, and it's like, we don't fucking understand how any of that works. And so it's like, when that's the other thing that interests me is like, are those people full of shit? Or are they telling the truth?
Dude, my instinct is to always just default to their liars, because it's like I don't know why is it always like the one outlier? Why is it just the one guy who's like, yeah, I was there, and like no one's backing him up? And then but then the argument is like, oh, because people don't want to get like, you know, targeted by the government or whatever.
It always
But-
seems like so convenient. Like this is the one guy that the government's against, and this is the one guy
Yeah.
that wants to talk out and really show what's going on behind the scenes that they're not saying. And to me, I'm the same. Like I wanna go on the side of like, oh, that's bullshit. Like that's not real. But at the same time, I'm like, I want it to be real.
My head, my brain tells me that in every organization, in every industry, in every company, there's maniacs. There's always going to be one weirdo or a crazy person.
Right.
So like to say that, you know, there was a maniac working at, I don't know Bob Lazar, I don't know him, but to say that he was like someone who was kind of kooky and he left and he stopped working there for whatever reason, whether they kicked him out or he retired or whatever, and now he's speaking out. To me, my kind of skeptical mind just goes, oh, he's probably just a crazy person that was working there.
Right.
Well,
And
I mean, he gets into the physics of what he was working on in his
yes.
project. So
Did you
I
listen
wonder.
to it?
I listened to a portion of it. So I wonder if any like academics watched that episode and sort of
Verified
could
it.
have validated
Talking
any of
about
the
like
things he was
like
saying.
an element that they discovered.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that's
he's
what I was
also
gonna-
talking about what Maddie was talking about, which is how the ship works and the energy core. I remember he was talking
Yeah, he
about
talks about like some of the weird shit that's above
Yeah.
my head. But that's what I was gonna say to you, Mark. Where it's like, that's the thing where it's like, I feel like whether you believe Bob Lazar or not, and even I don't necessarily believe him, because I am a very like skeptical person like that, and like, you know, Occam's razor, the simplest explanation is usually the right one. Like, yeah, the simplest explanation is he's just full of shit. But that's what I mean, where it's like, there's a difference between, you know, the random crazy lady who's like, oh, I was abducted and probed,
Yeah.
and somebody like him who is like in the Joe Rogan thing, like he is like
very well
clearly
spoken.
smart guy, like he's this like well-spoken guy, like he's not like the typical like tinfoil hat guy
Fair enough.
that like you think of. And so seeing somebody like that, it's hard to like, again, I'm still personally skeptical, but like
Yeah.
looking at him, I'm like, I don't,
I don't not believe
even
you.
if he's not telling, maybe if it's not even like he's lying, but it's just like the information he has is wrong.
Yeah.
Like for all he knows, it's some super secret government thing and it's not aliens, but he interpreted it that way. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if you're telling the truth, but I also don't know if I would buy that you're like lying about it.
Yeah.
Like it's almost this thing where it's like it falls kind of in the middle to me almost.
Well, yeah, to me it's like I didn't listen to the podcast or watch it, but maybe seeing him talk and seeing how well spoken he is, like Patrick is saying, and how much detail he's providing. I don't know what it's about, like I mean how specific he gets, but maybe if I watched it I'd be like, you know what? I kind of not 100% trust him, but I think that he could be
Like
speaking his perspective and
Right.
his truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to say was the whole conversation of UFOs is one that's kind of weird to me because, as I understand it, the government identifies like UFOs isn't an exclusive alien terms.
Yes.
Sure.
It's anything that the government doesn't
Unidentified
know.
flying
Yeah.
objects.
Yeah, exactly.
Like even that the
And
Chinese
for the longest
balloon
time,
thing.
like my understanding of it was that it's just like like an alien ship.
right, you
but it's
picture
not
the
that.
like the gray
It's not
saucer.
necessarily that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Like from Nope.
exactly.
Like from No.
Yeah, but that's
That
the
not
thing
great
where it's
movie.
like,
Oh, come on. It was pretty good.
Fucking don't even
You didn't
get me
like it?
Don't even get
It
me
was
started.
not really entertaining.
I definitely think Get Out was better.
Get Out was without a doubt better.
But
And
Get
he
Out
doesn't,
is better
than
he doesn't
us.
think that though.
Nope's better than us.
Nope is better than Us.
100%.
I think
It,
Us
it
is
goes
better
Get
than
Out,
Nope.
Us, Nope.
Mm-mm.
Even though Us had
Nope.
way more
I think Nope.
loopholes.
For me,
No.
Nope was cooler when
Plot holes.
half the population wasn't like that.
What do you mean?
Like in the beginning, you're saying
Like
when it
in
was
the beginning,
like,
when it was just that family that
yeah,
was
that was really
duplicated,
scary.
that
Yeah.
was freaky.
You're talking
but
about
I mean
Us?
us.
Yeah.
Oh, you said Nope.
No, I said Us is better than Nope.
No, no.
Ah.
Okay, I understand what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was just freakier at the beginning. It was
It
just
was
that was
scary.
the one family. But
When
then it
the
was
white family got
everybody.
killed.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's freaky.
That was
Yeah, that was
And
insane.
then they go.
Spoilers.
She goes, Alexa, call the police or whatever, and it's like, oh, playing "Fuck the Police" by
yeah,
NWA.
yeah, that was a great
Oh my
moment.
god.
But yeah, with the alien thing, yeah, it's just a whole. I don't know. There's just something that's like fascinating about it to me, but it's also deeply disturbing. Where it's like, even though I'm sitting here like, oh, I hope we discover shit. There's a part of me that would venture a guess it's not gonna go well.
You know what's crazy? I don't know if you guys mentioned this yet, but the idea, like some people believe that aliens had visited Earth a long time ago, and that's why like the ancient civilizations were like so advanced in so many different ways.
Like how they built the
Right.
pyramids and
Like
stuff.
how, like for example, like that's one of the
the-
more famous examples.
Yeah, and
how
like
they
the
built pyramids.
parallels between them. Where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, the Mayans over here have this weird pyramid-looking building, and
Yeah.
oh, the Egyptians over here have this weird pyramid-looking building.
Mhm.
Why?
Mhm.
That kind of shit too.
And there's this theory about the pyramids being like an energy
Oh, an energy source or something.
Yeah, where
Like
it stores
channeling
light.
it?
It
Oh, okay.
channels light or something.
Mm-mm.
I saw like a video on that.
I've seen images of
that's-
like yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, finish. what
And
you
I've
were
seen
gonna say.
images of like a pyramid in Egypt, and someone like it's like a photoshopped image or whatever, but like to explain the concept
Yeah.
of the energy storage, it's like light shooting out of the tip of it, and it's like going into the sky.
and they I think in that same not maybe not the same thing you're referencing,
Sure.
but one of the rooms in there is supposed to be like a storage for like salt solution or something, and that's part of the whole thing with like it storing energy. And it's like
That sounds like a bunch of nonsense.
it sounds like a bunch of nonsense, but
Malarkey.
imagine if it was true. Oh my god!
Right? Now with
Crazy.
aliens, the two things I will sort of end with here as we make our French exit out of this is the first thing is the idea behind the other thing I guess about aliens that fascinates me and terrifies me is the idea of like there being more advanced things out there that know about us
Mm-hmm.
already, and the idea of like being observed or watched by something out there is like interesting and horrifying, but also fascinating. Like I think I've told you guys before, and I think I want to say it's part of some Carl Jung story or whatever the fuck.
Carl
Contact.
Jung,
Is it Carl Jung? Carl
the
Sagan.
psychologist.
Carl Sagan. Totally different person. Totally different person. I got my Carls mixed up. But like in Contact, which is a book he wrote, I think, that then became a movie. I might be making all this shit up. But anyways, the idea that like the first, like this is definitely for sure a thing that is mentioned in this Contact story is that the first radio waves made on Earth that were like strong enough to escape
The
the atmosphere and shit and like fly out into space was Hitler at the 1938 Olympics. Like that's the first shit that ever left Earth. So I think that's like a plot point in Contact where like eventually, you know, however many years later, they get this radio signal that's just flying through space and they see it and they're like, what the fuck is this? Like why is there another planet? Clearly they're intelligent. Why is this weird like dictator dude? But so I just love that like little footnote idea of like that's the first thing that like theoretically any like intelligent species would ever see of Earth.
He's the representative.
Yeah, exactly. He's like the first thing.
He's
to
our
see, which is, like,
ambassador.
not a good thing.
If we had to pick one man
Yeah,
to reach out to the
exactly.
aliens,
Yeah.
who's it gonna be?
We want it to be him. But that's like just a neat sci-fi thing. The other quick thing I'll throw in really quickly, it just because it reminded me is
Throw it in, baby.
there's another sci-fi story like about aliens. I forget who it's written by, but the idea is that like the aliens are more advanced than humanity, but to a point. So the premise of the story is they come to Earth in like the 9th century and they see like all this medieval shit and they're like, well, clearly this is some backwards ass planet. Like we're going to fuck these guys
Amateur
up.
nonsense.
So they leave to go back to their planet to like, you know, rally the troops. But because it takes them so long to get to their planet and then so long to come back, when they come back, it's during World War II. So they're like, what the hell? Like when we left, it was horses and spears and shit. And now they're using like atom bombs and tanks and all this stuff. And the premise of the story is like humanity, like having to stop World War II to like band together and fight like these alien invaders and like fight them off. But anyways, so the last thing I wanted to just make our exit with this topic with aliens, and this is something we've talked about briefly over the years that I know we disagree on, but I'd like to just put it forth anyways, is from a philosophical perspective, I am personally of the mind that the second we do discover alien life, whether it's, you know, the amoeba,
this is going to religion, isn't it?
Mhm. Whether it's the amoeba, the cow, or the, you know, intelligent life out there somewhere.
Yeah.
That to me has always been like, if that's the case, that's the final nail in like earthly religions. And I know you guys disagree with that.
I don't disagree with that.
Like to some extent, or at least like in the past when we've talked about it, like some of you guys have been like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. That's just like a philosophical thing about the idea of life outside of Earth that fascinates me, because to me, it's like whatever we find out there, it's such a like fascinating premise on such a like broad, incomparable scale of like, holy shit, the universe, space, life existing, you know, all like potentially all over the place kind of thing. And that seems like an idea and a concept that goes so far beyond what like we as humans think of when we think of religion, because religion is very like
human forward,
earth centric,
like humans were created in God's image.
Yeah, like we're in God's image, we're number one. It's
Yeah.
like when religions were first kind of becoming a thing, they're like, Earth is at the center of the solar system, and then it was all these people being like,
not quite.
It's like the sun, like we just kind of exist with all these other things. And so to me, it's like, it's related to aliens, but it also ties in religion in just this kind of like more philosophical way of like, if we find any sort of life, to me, it's like,
it changes everything.
It changes. Yeah. Like that's, I guess what I'm saying in a roundabout way. What interests me about aliens is like the idea of finding them in any capacity changes so much. That's also why I think it would be like, if we find something really, really bad here on Earth, because I think a lot of people would have like an existential crisis and start freaking out.
And definitely a lot of people would consider it like, oh, is this the second coming? Like, what's going on here? Like, there's like wild creature coming, and it's like the apocalypse is starting. It would cause. I'm excited about the idea of like humanity finding shit in the future, but at the same time, like you said, it's so scary because no doubt it's gonna cause worldwide panic.
Right.
The whole world, even if you're in like this remote place in the middle of nowhere, like someone's gonna tell you about it.
Exactly.
And you're gonna freak out.
Unless you're on Sentinel Island.
What's Sentinel Island?
It's this island that has this.
Who gives a fuck? Let's move on.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It doesn't actually matter. It's just down to the native tribe on it that doesn't.
Oh, the one that's disconnected from humanity,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
They have
yeah.
like no. Okay.
Yeah, they have no contact with the people who tried to go in, like the fishermen.
murdered
that got close.
them, right?
Yeah, they murdered them.
They eat them or just kill them?
I think they just threw spears at them and they died in their boat.
Wow.
Imagine losing to spears.
I wonder how proficient they are at throwing spears. Like they must be
They
really
gotta be
accurate.
pretty good.
Oh my god! Like because they gotta
You
hunt
think
fish.
so?
Because they gotta probably hunt fish and animals by throwing spears and like stab.
Mhm.
Like they're
I
probably
guess
they're
so.
probably elite. They
I
could
guess
probably like come to the Olympics and win gold.
Mm.
That's pretty crazy.
Let's test
This
that.
is a good way to. It's a good way to close this up. Okay. Sentinel Island.
Sentinel
From
Island.
aliens to natives.
To alienated.
Disconnected.
Ah.
To alienated. What?
So existential crises and aliens. Isn't that a fun thing to think about? Have fun sleeping tonight, idiot. Anyways, Patrick, take us away. What are we talking about next?
So what I want to talk about is a little more laid back and
good.
less explorative than the topic of aliens.
Good, good.
I guess to put it broadly, it's just if you were to be famous for something, what would you want to be famous for? And I'd like to answer my own question
Go ahead.
first here. I think without a doubt, I would be.
Can I guess?
Go ahead.
You would be like a singer, like an artist.
I'd be a musical performer.
Mm.
I'm very envious of people who are musically gifted, who can express themselves through sound or through lyrics. And on top of that, I feel like musicians have like a hold on people. Like they can put people in a trance almost. It's
So
in their mind.
You want to brainwash people is what you're saying.
I'm not saying I want to brainwash people, but musicians bring something else out in people, if that makes
Right.
sense.
There's
for
a
lack of
power
better
to
word.
music.
Exactly. There's a power to music, and I want to wield that power.
It's an art form that nobody else.
I'd like to go
or
next
none-
if you guys don't.
Wait, what did you say?
You just kind of mumbled it out.
No, I was saying it's an art form that like doesn't like. It can be a very individual thing. Like
What do you mean by that?
there aren't a lot of other forms of art where one person can command the attention of a football stadium kind of thing.
But
I
even-
mean, Messi commands the attention of the football stadium when he plays.
sure,
That's one man.
but that's also not an art.
Really? That's a whole other
Soccer?
topic. A lot of people consider football an art.
What about mixed martial arts?
A lot of people consider
That's
sports art.
Mm-hmm.
You're a hockey guy.
I mean, we just talked about sports last.
The
time.
art of movement. Hey, you never heard that before?
No,
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I'd like to go next if you
Go
guys don't mind.
I might.
You mind? I love movies almost more than anything,
Mm-hmm.
and so I would definitely want to be a big movie star. I'd want to star in like really interesting indie movies, and then also the huge blockbusters that make me $10 million.
I was about to say, Mark, you stole my answer, but then you went more the acting route, which is slightly different from mine.
Oh, you went
'cause-
director, huh?
Well, because I also thought about musician like Patrick did, but because like I went to film school and I'm like in that world, if I had to be famous for something, I would like it to be in the movie biz or like something adjacent, like whether it's video games or like being a comic book writer or something.
Can I tell you why Mark's answer and my answer are superior to yours?
Mm.
I mean, I don't know how much this matters to you, but we would get more women in our line of
The
work.
groupies, as they say.
Yeah. Like artists,
Mhm.
as in musical artists,
Mhm.
even not so famous ones,
Mhm.
they pull.
Is that what you want in life? Just a bunch of cheap?
No, but it's whoa, just a bunch of cheap. Finish that
I feel
sentence.
like,
No,
a bunch
I feel
of
like
cheap sex.
I feel like you're warranted in what you're saying and getting a whole lot of groupies, but I feel like there's artists out there where, like, when I think of Louis Capaldi, I don't think this guy's getting
oh
girls.
no, but he pulls too. Come on,
It
you don't
depends.
think it, but he does.
Wait, is Capaldi like a classical musician?
No, Louis Capaldi's the guy who sings "Before You Go." Was there something I could have done to make it?
Oh, that song.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, but I get what Malcolm's saying. Where it depends on the music, because like if you were like, I want to get up there and be like,
I'm not
the
just
most
talking about
famous.
music. I'm also talking about looks. Louis Capaldi's not a looker.
Yeah,
It
but the
doesn't
thing
matter.
is, that doesn't matter. That's the whole point of
It matters a little.
it. Matters. It definitely matters
It
to a
doesn't-
certain degree.
It doesn't matter at all.
Neil
It
Young
matters
is
a
70 years old.
little.
It matters. It matters to some degree, but again, it goes back to the idea that musicians have a way with people.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, for example, I've heard so many girls say that The Weeknd is an unattractive guy,
Right.
but because of his like music and his vibe and everything,
He drives them crazy.
yeah, he drives girls mad.
Sure, but what I'm saying is looks is definitely a small part of it.
Oh,
Not
no.
a lot. Like
Don't
a
get me
small
wrong.
part.
Don't get me wrong. It definitely helps a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're incredibly talented and you're singing in front of like a huge stadium of like 20,000 people, if you look like fucking Nosferatu, you're gonna pull a lot of people.
Part of
Sure.
it too is because the status that's associated with
Yes.
that environment.
Yes.
If you're performing in front of 20,000 people, then you're implicitly high
And you're
on.
rich,
Sure,
you're rich,
but what I'm
yeah.
The
saying,
hierarchy,
what
yeah.
I'm saying is like, Harry Styles is pulling a lot more than Neil Young.
I mean, there's definitely there's a hierarchy to the top of the hierarchy.
Like,
But
for
also-
sure.
and I know this is such a
Neil
stupid
Young.
tangent, like a side tangent, but I'm just saying, like that was my only point, is that looks factors in slightly, not a lot.
But you know what I'll say though?
Wait, can I stop you there?
Yeah.
Neil Young is such a wacky looking guy, bro.
He's just this like old Canadian dude.
But it
this
depends,
old
though.
fuck, bro.
But even though we're saying this, like, I would imagine that a lot of people's moms would prefer Neil Young over Harry Styles, like older women. Like,
Sure,
like
yeah.
it depends on who you listen to when you were growing up and stuff like that. Like,
Yo,
Sure.
tell me Neil Young doesn't look like a drunk.
He does.
A little bit.
He's
He
got
does.
that like kind of well, especially.
He's actually gross now.
Oh
He's
my
gross.
God, gross! Now that he's older, like he's an old man. Great song.
What does he think he's doing not putting his stuff on Spotify?
Because he was angry at them and Joe Rogan and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. What does he think he's still doing though? It's like we're
What does
we're
he care?
past that.
What does he
He's a
care?
man
He's
of-
old.
he's a man of
Spotify's
principle.
new.
He's a man of principle.
Here's the thing, though.
Doesn't wanna be
Actually,
part of it.
this is again such a stupid tangent, but on Spotify, I don't know why, but like he's pulled all of his stuff off there. But I guess there's a couple versions of his songs
There is, yeah.
that
Yeah.
still exist.
Yes.
Because like I have Harvest Moon
Mhm.
and I think Heart of Gold from the Eat, Pray, Love soundtrack.
yeah. I've
for
seen
some
it.
reason.
Yeah, I have
And
Harvest
then
Moon like that
there's
too.
some like I don't know if it's a Spotify made playlist or like some actual album that's on Spotify called Sad Songs, and The Needle and the Damage Done is
Love
on that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how, but somehow I have Old Man from the
I
Harvest
I
album,
do. I have it too.
which
for some
I don't
reason.
get because that
Yeah.
album does not exist on Spotify
Yeah,
anymore.
they took it off.
But somehow Old Man is still in my like
Yeah.
playlist, so I don't know what that's.
Can I
all
also just
about.
build on the initial point that I made?
Please steer us back.
If I were to be famous for something, I'd be an artist, but
Mhm.
specifically, I think I would want to be an R&B artist. Like I
Mm.
want like
Really?
yeah.
R&B like what, like Usher?
No, R&B more so like The Weeknd.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, is he R&B? I mean, I guess he has R&B as a part of
I
like.
think he's considered
At this,
We
at
could
this,
search it up.
At this point, I feel like he would just be a pop artist.
Yeah, isn't he a little more poppy?
I feel like he's pop R&B if you want like there's so many ways you can like
Yeah, it
title
all-
music.
yeah,
it
It's
all
so-
falls under.
You know that meme of like, oh, the R&B artist in between songs, and he's like sweating, and he takes his earpiece out, and he's like looking out into the audience,
Yeah.
and he's smiling,
Like
and
I
everyone,
wrote that video for Pharrell Williams.
yeah.
Anyways, Patrick, you get us that crucial information. Malcolm, what would you want to be famous for?
It's R&B by the way.
Thank you.
It's R&B slash something else.
Slash soul.
I've thought about artist. I've thought about movie star. I've thought about all these things, and I still
Athlete.
would want to stick with athlete.
Mm.
I just-
Okay.
I just couldn't imagine being a soccer
Dude,
player,
now that you say that,
MMA, or anything, and walking out and the crowd's going crazy. The crowd's singing. Like the second you do anything crazy, everyone's screaming.
Yeah.
They're screaming.
honestly, now that you
Yes.
say that, I've imagined myself many times knocking someone out with like a head kick, and everyone going crazy. That would be insane.
Yeah.
And
I would love to get in a cage.
your arms are up, the belt's
Yeah.
around you.
Dude, I would love to get in a cage and be like capable of doing that to another person and like defending myself and like knocking them out. That would be incredible.
Yeah,
Imagine,
I don't
like,
want to
I'd-
ruin what you're
Yeah.
saying right now, but I feel like the con with what you're choosing is concussion, brain damage, shorter life.
and
not
that-
if not if it's soccer.
Oh, I thought you picked MMA. Oh, you picked soccer?
No, I'm saying like those
Oh,
kind of sports,
any one of them.
but soccer preferably.
But at the
Okay.
same time with that, you're also cutting your longevity quite a bit. I mean, you'll have if you're like super good, you'll have like a shit ton of money, and like Ronaldo doesn't need to play soccer until he's 80.
Mhm.
So that doesn't necessarily matter like money wise. But to me, if you want to keep yourself occupied and like engaged with whatever you want to do, I could be an actor for much longer than I could be like a soccer player, or MMA fighter. You know.
But that's not really. I don't think that really factors in with regards to what Malcolm's saying. Like, yeah, it's true. No matter what, like athletes have a shorter prime span of time than
Yeah.
musicians. Like Eric Clapton's still performing. How old is he? 87.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But that's just how it is. Like humans, you can only stay at peak with
Yeah.
regards to physical performance for so long. But even then, like it's a good choice in the sense of if you pick athlete, then you have like a name for yourself. You have like a brand almost.
That's understandable, but
Yeah.
you could say the same thing about
You could say the same thing about-
hugest artists, like
Yeah,
musical
yeah,
artists. So
yeah,
to me,
yeah.
it's just like I see people who like are retired and they're playing golf and shit, and I'm like, that looks fucking terrible. I don't want to play golf for like 20 years.
Mhm.
I want to be engaged in my passion or my interests for a long time. I mean, I
Mhm.
guess if golf's your interest, then there you go. But to me, it's
There
like
you go.
I
You're
love
Tiger Woods.
I love movies, and if I was a really excellent actor, I would love being an actor and like a famous actor.
Harrison Ford.
Sure, making another Indiana Jones movie for some reason. But yeah,
God, I
like
hope it's good.
I just feel like I would be more entertained. I'd have more fun with my life as opposed to like retiring at like 30 something or 40. Yeah, I have all the money in the world. I can do whatever I want. But to me, what drives me every day is like my career. What I'm going to be doing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for you, Patrick, about this hypothetical you've posed, because I think I know the answer to this, but I just want to get it out there because then I have a point. I assume if we're picking what we get to be famous for, it means we're proficient in that suddenly, yes?
Yeah, like you're
Like, you
good
don't
at
get-
what you do.
You don't get to be famous as a musician, but like be mediocre.
Ice Spice.
I mean, yeah. we
Ice
can-
Spice is famous. Did you know that? she's mediocre.
Shots
Wow.
fired.
Okay. No, yeah,
Um,
we can say, yeah, you're.
So the idea is
you're
like
proficient
you
at what you
become
do.
a good musician, I become a good, movie thing,
Yeah, I'm
whatever.
not gonna be a
Mark's an
garbage
actor.
musician.
I think
Yeah,
you can
I'll be a good
decide. You can
musician.
decide if you want to be like, hey, in this scenario, I'm going to be famous because of this like really bad thing that I did. That's up to you. I don't know why you'd want to do that.
Well, but
Yeah.
not, where I was going with it is I like how we all picked like these very self-serving things, and like because I
not the
thought
person
of it and then
who
didn't.
like made sure world hunger was not a thing
Yeah, I
anymore.
was gonna say like none of us went like I want to be famous for like being the one who cured cancer.
Yeah.
Like every one of us was
That's
like
so
No
true.
one's gonna remember your name.
immediately self-interest. Like I want to be famous as a musician. I want to be a famous actor. I want to be famous like in the entertainment
Dude,
industry. I want
yeah.
to be a
you
famous
just
athlete.
you just blew my mind because you set up the question not as like what thing would you want to be good at and be
Yeah.
like
It
you
could've
just
been
said,
anything.
what do you want to be famous for?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're such assholes, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I guess implicitly in my mind it was always like,
Mm.
what do you want to be good at? But I get what you're saying.
And I think that's why we took it that way because we
Yeah.
just figured that that's what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but-
You were taking it in
But
like
even-
an
but even-
entertainment sort of
Yeah.
like focused.
Even if you
thing.
bring that up, you're right. I'm picking artist over curing cancer any day of
Really?
the week, bro.
See,
You're dooming humanity.
Do not isolate that soundbite.
That's a tough.
That's gonna be.
That's a tough moral question.
I nominate that to be a part of our social media clips of like him being like, I would rather be a famous artist than cure
man,
cancer.
you guys are gonna put my name through the mud.
Honestly, I don't think in some scenario where the genie comes up to me and is like, choose what you want to be famous for. I don't think I could pick.
Is it Will Smith?
Yeah, it's Will Smith from the live action.
I didn't watch that one. Was it good? It's probably
I didn't
not
watch
good.
it either. It's probably not that great. But I don't
It's
think.
pretty good.
I've heard it's good.
An Egyptian man, a Coptic man, actually, is Aladdin in that one.
Wow.
You know, I heard that
Yeah.
and my reaction.
He's from Mississauga.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't he?
Do you want to know my reaction to that?
What?
I was like, oh, cool. Didn't watch it.
hmm
That's about it.
Yeah, but when it was Hamdi Abdul Wahab.
That's right. Well, because I care about you. I care about MMA. I care about.
You just chose you said you wanted to be an actor.
No. I don't care.
You don't care about acting?
I don't care about.
Movies?
I don't care about Aladdin. I don't care about the live action Aladdin. I'll say that.
So
I don't care about the live action. Wait, you're
you
not.
always have an answer to something
No.
like for example,
What are you
when
talking
you were
about?
like, "Oh, Puss in Boots is it's a cat, it's an animated cat in
No,
Boots,"
no,
but
no.
one of your favorite movies is
Ratatouille.
the fox one or whatever. What's
Fantastic,
that one?
fantastic
Yeah,
Mr. Fox.
that's an
No.
animated fox.
No. That was me kind of being silly with it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a good. I'm sure Puss in Boots is a good movie. But this point that I'm saying is that I don't care for live action remakes, and that could
Okay.
be a whole other topic of live action remakes.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about them. I don't think they're needed. I love the originals. That's all I need. And so
Okay.
to me, it's like I was never excited about it. So regardless of whether it was an Egyptian guy or not my thing.
That should have made you want to watch it a little bit, though. I think.
Cool.
So, anyways, about my moral conundrum.
Yeah.
I don't think I could, in good conscience, look that genie in the eyes and be like, "Yeah, make me a famous director." If like the option on the table was also like,
Yeah,
Well,
if
now
you-
you're
what if you-
thinking
famous as
now
the
you're
guy who
thinking too
cured
small,
cancer.
though.
No,
Now
but,
you're
what-
thinking too small.
but also he gives you 3 wishes. So why wouldn't you do cure cancer?
That's
be
a
movie-
loophole.
I
Come on.
no, I said genie, but I'm just saying like some sort of
one, yeah.
magical scenario where you're presented.
Think
with
bigger,
this.
Maddie. Like, why are you gonna stop at cancer? Like, world peace. Why not be the guy?
Sure.
Who's, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you would say like, I could be famous for the guy who like made the world a utopia, but instead I'm
I
gonna
feel like
choose like
yeah.
the arts.
But I feel like we should constrain it or reduce it to stuff that's like
Realistic, that's right.
plausible.
That's
I'm not
what-
saying curing cancer isn't plausible, but I said like curing like world peace or
Yes,
whatever. That's
sure.
not
That's
plausible.
what I-
World
that's what I was
peace
gonna
is like
say.
a tough one because that like that implies changing so much. Whereas like I want to be famous as the guy who cured cancer. It's
Yeah.
the same as being a famous musician who's like
Yeah.
creating really good music. You're gonna suddenly gain like this scientific knowledge to
Yeah.
be in a fucking lab and then be sitting there and be like, guys, I got it. Like cancer.
Yeah, but the difference is, yeah, you're right.
Cancer's gone.
It's not self-serving. You're right, because you're not going to be as well off as the famous artist, make as much money, or
maybe
be
not
as
so,
well
but you're still
known.
gonna be making a bunch.
You might be killed.
I disagree
won't
with the
be making
well-known
as much.
thing. I disagree with the well-known thing.
Name to me the guy who discovered insulin.
I don't fucking know.
There you go.
Got
Bro,
him.
diabetes was such a huge thing.
Sure.
And that discovery is huge.
Well, how much money?
Sure.
I wonder how much money that guy made though. He
I
probably-
think
he
he
probably made
released.
bank.
I think he
20
released.
cents.
No. I think
He gave the rights away.
he gave the rights away. Isn't that the story?
I don't know.
He said insulin belongs to the people, not to me.
What a man.
But what I'm
What a
saying is
mensch.
like, I don't know. I just feel like the person who cures cancer, like that
Okay.
is going in the history books. Like that is a forever fact in human history.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, like, and also it's not going to be one guy. It's going to be a team of researchers, and that's
Whatever.
why
That-
no one's going to
that-
remember
that's
their
the
names.
problem.
It's just going to be like, oh, U of T found the cure to cancer or something.
Nah.
That's what it's going to boil down to.
Not UFD.
For example,
biased.
I am biased. That's right.
But
UTM.
anyways, yeah, that was a whole other thing. But I
Don't
just
bring this
that
up
was.
now.
I think we
was,
can clarify that, Patrick.
No. We don't need to bring this up now.
Patrick,
of all time.
I mean, now we got to because now people are like, "What the
What are
fuck are
we
they talking about?"
clarifying?
We're clarifying that Patrick is going to the University of Toronto, Mississauga,
Right.
not the actual University.
Yeah,
of
but
Toronto.
my
Right.
degree is going to say University of Toronto on it, and my convocation is going to be in
Well,
University of Toronto.
that remains to
Right.
be seen. But anyway,
You don't think I'm going to graduate?
I'm just
You don't have
fucking,
faith
I'm just
in me?
fucking around.
You
I
don't
do
faith
have.
in
I have
me?
all the faith in you.
Thank you.
Patrick, tell everybody your exact address.
Oh, here we go.
Now that they know.
I
Will
lean
you
in.
on your garage code?
Nah, I know.
How about you don't?
You guys remember
Or
that
you
one
don't
time?
just say whatever,
I remember this
okay.
one time, and I've told you guys this before. I think I was hanging out with Malcolm, and he received a call from like a scammer.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
And the guy was like asking for like air duct cleaning services or whatever, and Malcolm gave the guy Patrick's exact
You're
address.
a piece of shit for that. What is wrong with you? What if it was some murderer?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nah.
Nah, that
Like
couldn't be
like
right.
he's that response to me displays that he realizes, wow, like that was kind of stupid of me to do that.
That was like
But,
like oh my god. I went to go see my grandmother today. This 84, 85-year-old Portuguese lady who I love to death, but
She's the sweetest.
bless her heart, she doesn't hear that great anymore. And I went to like just pay her a visit today because if I don't go see her every once in a while, she's gonna think I don't love her anymore. So I got us each a nice coffee, went over to her apartment, and I dial the number thing when I get there to like buzz her or whatever. And so the phone's ringing, it rings, it rings, it rings. She picks up the phone, you know, with her little Portuguese accent. She's like, "Hello." I was like, "Hey," and there's this pause, and then she goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Hey, it's me," and she's like, "It's you." I was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Oh, where are you?" I was like, "I'm here. Let me in." And she's like, "Oh, okay, hold on." And then like, you know, the doo, and the door opens, and I walk into the apartment, and as I'm going up the elevator, I'm like, she does not know who's approaching her right now, and she let them in anyway. And sure as shit, before I even get to her front door,
Oh no!
before I even get to her door on like her floor, she had like come out and was like standing in the hallway waiting, and she saw me, and she's like, "Oh, it's you! I didn't know." It was
You gotta be like, Grandma, don't ever let any random person up.
But that's what I'm saying. Where she's like, well, in her defense, she's like, "Oh, I thought it was like your mom for a second."
okay.
But I was like, okay, at least that's somewhat reasonable. But I just like the idea because I knew she didn't know it was me. And then sure enough, I get there, she's like, "Oh, it's you." And I'm in my head, I'm like, anybody with a voice vaguely like mine or my
Yeah,
mom
yeah.
or my dad or my brother could come to the door and be like, "Hey," like, because we call her Sasa, which isn't even a real word. It's just a thing we made up as a kid. But like anybody who knew that information.
Really? I thought that was actually like a Portuguese thing.
No, Sasa's like just some gibberish
shit,
that when
okay.
I was a baby,
Mm.
I just like started calling her.
You're
it
scum.
and just stuck. Yeah. But
Wow.
it's like if anybody
That's what
knew
that is.
like it's just anybody could probably conceivably go up to the phone thing and dial it and be like, "Hey, it's me," or even if they just used her name and they're like, "Hey, it's me," and she's like, "Oh, okay, sure." Open the
That's
door.
scary,
Do you think-
the
bro.
whole apartment building?
That's
do you
scary.
think I could do a good enough impression of you to trick her?
You wouldn't even need to. She didn't know it was him.
No, but I'm saying he's saying like the person would have to sound a little bit like Maddie. Do you think I could do a good enough job?
I don't even think you would have to do an impression. I literally think you could walk up to the thing, dial the phone, and have her be like, "Hello," and you'd be like, "Hey, it's Maddie." And she'd be like, "Oh,
Oh,
cool."
cool.
Like, and then you'd be like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here. Like, I brought iced coffees." And she'd be like, "Oh, cool." And she'd let you into the
Let's
fucking
go.
What if you have like a really thick like Russian accent?
Then it might be. Then
Like,
I don't
hello,
know.
it
If
is
you
Hello,
Ma-
Matty is here.
could, yeah, then I don't know.
Oh, it's you. Come on up.
Then,
Okay,
then I
just-
don't know if you could pull that
Hello,
off.
Sasa.
Just to end us off here so we can move on.
Yeah, so
I
being
want
famous.
I want you guys to just imagine this last thing and we'll move on. Imagine it's the year what? It's around the 1950s, 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
Your nickname is the King.
Mm.
You make the ladies go crazy.
Mm.
Yes, I'm talking about the Elvis Presley. Imagine
Mm.
being that. Like that's your persona.
Right.
Honestly,
Crazy.
That's what you're asking for.
I think it would be like an unbelievable high like you've never felt in your life.
Mhm.
The fucking ecstasy of being on stage and everyone's like screaming your name and like wanting to grab at you.
Yeah.
At the same time,
That picture is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
With all of them reaching up on stage
Mm.
and he's just like
and I love the way
doing
they
his thing. Yeah.
say what you will about the Baz Luhrmann movie, but I did really enjoy the way they depicted him on stage with like everyone screaming and wanting him and
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like with all that stuff, it would be so much stress and pressure. Like it would crumble me for sure. Like I wouldn't want that level.
It's a lot, yeah.
Which to me is
Which
why,
is really
like-
impressive, like
yeah,
the way
right?
they do what they do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I need to go take a shit now, so let's
Okay.
cut.
Jesus.
Cut it out.
Okay, I guess that's it. Thanks for that, Patrick.
Mhm.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to move on to our third topic of discussion. Mr. Mark, take us away.
That's me. So today, I want to talk about something that's also kind of lighthearted, not serious at all, but it's been something that I've found enjoyment in the last 6 months or so, and that is shaving. So I've
Shaving?
Shaving.
Everything or
no, I'm
just your
talking
face?
I'm talking primarily my face.
Mm.
I love shaving my face. I don't get that much hair on my face, but like every couple of days I get a little stubble and it bothers me and it's like itchy and shit. So I go into the bathroom, I play music, I fucking, take my shirt off, I have a good old time, it's so peaceful to me, and I don't know why, I just fucking love it. Like it just gives me some like relaxation, and if I'm in a bad mood, like taking care of myself like that automatically like boosts my mood.
And you're strictly talking facial hair, like you don't get that same pleasure from shaving your armpits or your chest or
I don't-
even your pubes.
I don't shave my armpits or my chest. I do shave my pubes, but I don't enjoy it.
For
I feel like I have to do it, but I don't enjoy it.
Who does?
myself, I also love shaving my face. It feels great. I feel like a new man. I love shaving, knowing I'm gonna look so great with just a mustache when I'm done.
The only thing
I like I like doing the same. I take off my shirt, I put on some GMM on the side, and I watch
Sure.
whatever.
you guys do this. You guys do that? You
Yeah.
guys take off your shirt and shave?
Dude, I
I don't
you know,
want to get
'cause-
on my shirt.
Is that a thing?
Because
Do people do that?
here's the thing. I use shaving gel, which is,
Yeah.
by the way, greater than shaving foam or any other shaving material.
I use foam.
Gel
I
is
use
my
foam.
favorite. I don't know why. I feel like it gives me a cleaner shave at the end of the day. I feel like with foam I have to keep applying more. But anyway,
I've never felt that.
so the
but
point
sorry,
is the point is when I'm shaving, I get some of the cream, I guess you could say. It sounds gross, on my neck, and sometimes it'll like drip down. So I don't want to have a shirt on and then it ruins my
Oh, I
shirt or
see.
whatever. So I take the shirt off. I play some nice music. The last couple days I've been playing "Take My Breath Away."
Yep.
Yeah,
I-
but how long does it take you to shave, Mark? I feel like it doesn't take you too long.
I really extend it. I take my time with it and I love myself. Like I take my sweet time. I do this thing where my hair is kind of, it's too fine and not as dense as like someone's like Maddie's like thicker hair.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't just shave down. I have to shave reverse, like up. I don't know if that's like a common thing with
I do the
everybody.
same thing too.
Yeah, because like when I shave down regularly, but the little tiny baby hairs are still there. Like I can't get them by shaving down, so I gotta flip it and reverse it. So I do it very carefully as to not like burn and fuck up my skin. So I do it like that on.
Why don't
on
you go
each side.
sideways, like on the horizontal plane?
I do as well.
Okay.
I do as well. I find that on my chin, I can't go reverse. It's like easier to go down, and it kind of hurts.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love taking my time with it, and it's just like I don't know. And self care in general, I want to get more into it. I love like clipping my nails and like taking care of myself just boosts my mood and makes me so happy. I don't know. I just realized this
Yeah.
recently.
I really want to have like a face routine. Thank you. I want to have an
Me
exfoliator.
too.
I just want to take care of my face.
Yeah.
I feel like, you see this thing like that's
Yeah.
bottom right here.
Yeah.
Is that something you can get rid of? You think?
Yeah.
Like I want to
probably.
I want
Laser
to
it.
I want to laser it or do something. Start from scratch, and then I want to take care of this shit. You know what I mean?
Honestly, Isabel's getting me into taking care of my. She does a thing where she does her face every single night. She washes it, like
Mm-hmm.
does acne stuff, cleans it up every single night, and she's been getting me into it. And I feel good. I feel so good after I clean my face every
Yeah,
night.
that's awesome. And do you do the thing where do you know the ads where it's like the cream and like the blackheads
Oh,
surface?
I've seen those before.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
You don't do that?
Mm-mm.
Is that like
Are you talking about the strip?
No, I'm talking about the cream that you put on your face that cleans your pores, that like
Pulls everything out.
Pulls everything out. Is that
Mm.
scientifically?
I don't know.
I have no idea what that is. I've
Real
never heard of
or-
it.
Sounds like pseudoscience
I've
to
just
me. And I've
have a-
seen clips of it though.
Okay.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, do you guys all shave with just like a manual razor?
Here's what I was
Yeah,
gonna get into. Here's what I was gonna get into. Right. So I did some research on this today, very brief.
Mm-hmm.
But there are many different types of razors. You have your disposable razor, which is like, widely regarded as like the shittiest type. It's just like, you buy like an 8-pack and they're all plastic and you can't replace the razor head.
Yeah.
It's just it's just a plastic and you use it a couple times, you throw it out. And then you have what they call straight razors, which is what you kind of see at a barber with like the little switchblade thing. I've never used that before, but it kind of looks scary and I would never want to try it because like I feel like I'd cut myself.
Oh, those things that like little. flip
That's
thing.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have what they call safety razors. Safety razors are like, they like usually have a wooden handle and it's like a metal head and you can't replace it. It's just like, it is what it is. It's like one piece.
That's what I have.
Yeah. And those are like, and they usually have like a blade at a 90-degree angle. And those are supposed to be like classic.
What do you mean 90-degree angle?
Well, I just read that online. Something about like the angle of it is different than like the other ones.
I've
I don't
heard
know.
that the one razor shaving things are actually way better for your skin and cause way less ingrown hairs.
Razor bumps. Yeah. I've heard that
Which
as well.
ones?
The one blade, like a singular.
Oh, mine
A
has
singular
3
blade.
blades.
Well, I don't know if it's a safety razor.
Oh,
then.
that might not be.
The safety
then.
razor looks like the safety razor is like one of the most.
Yeah, like the
traditional-
plastic, like the blue, like for example, like do you know what I'm talking about? What's that company that makes the disposable
Gillette?
ones?
Well, no. So the
The
one
best a man can get.
the one you're talking about is cartridge razors, which is what I use. They come with like 3 or 4 replaceable heads, and you like pop them out and like click them in,
Oh.
and it's like a plastic handle or
The,
whatever.
the one I'm talking about though are like plastic ones that are complete. You don't need to click anything on.
Yeah. Those are
And
disposable.
I think they're one-use ones.
Those are disposable.
Oh, okay.
Those are like the kind of cheapest ones that are like, to me they're not the best, and oftentimes they're not the highest quality, and they give me bumps and stuff.
Okay.
I use the cartridge ones that like clip in and clip out,
I see.
and then like it's like Gillette, and they come with different replaceable
I
ones.
use that too.
Those are nice. I do really want a safety razor now, and I've like looked at them online, and some of them look so like clean and traditional. Like it makes me feel like I'm in like the 1900s.
You wouldn't
or
want an
whatever.
electric one? I feel
See,
like Matt,
This is
that
what I
you
was
shave
gonna get
with?
to. That's why I asked in the first place, because I raw dog that shit. Like I don't use any sort of cream or gel on my face when I'm
What?
shaving, because I use an electric shaver.
Oh,
Well, also you have a
You just
beard.
bzzz,
Well,
and it
the
goes.
thing is, he has a beard, so he maintains like it's not
Yeah,
like he's like
you're not
shaving his
shaving,
beard.
shaving.
Yeah.
No,
Like
but when I'm
you're-
like shaving hairs off, like I'm using it against the skin.
With
Like I'm
no
not
water or
like getting hairs.
No
yeah, I'm
water?
just doing it just
dry
straight.
with a razor.
Just
That's
dry.
gonna lead to problems in the future, to say the
Why?
least. I don't know. I feel like if ever you decided you're gonna like go clean face,
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna use gel because for whatever reason I don't
Yeah,
know
I'm
why
just
you're not
gonna get
using
rid
it.
of the
You're just
hairs.
gonna go for it.
Yeah.
I feel like your skin's gonna sting and it's
Yeah,
gonna be all
I
yeah.
haven't
all
had the
red
problem.
and bumpy.
Well, here the thing
Yeah.
is like I know you're saying you do shave hairs off, but like for me, it's like when I get the bumps, like not the bumps, when I get like the stubble, it's like pretty evenly. It's like good coverage. It covers my cheeks. It covers my chin. Everything. So like I have to go through my whole face and do that. If I were to do that raw, it would kill me. Like it would hurt the shit out
But
of me.
that's what I'm saying. Where I guess if you're using a manual, you like need
Yes.
some sort of cream or what have you. Whereas with the electric one, I feel like that's one of the advantages. Is you just bzzz, and
Honestly,
it
like
goes.
I want to get more into taking care of my face, like Malcolm was saying, and I want to get more specifically into shaving and understanding the best methods for my face. And editor threw up a picture of the one I'm thinking of. It's like the wooden blade one. It looks so sick. I was looking at it online. But anyway, yeah. So what do you guys think about aside from shaving? Like to me, I find such pleasure in just like taking care of myself. And when I have a day off from work, like I'm working full time right now, but when I have a day off, I just like to relax and like do shit for myself, like take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wanna build on that. Just
Sure.
like the polar opposite of shaving,
Mm.
which is I've thought about getting facial growth serum or
No.
growth
No,
serum.
Don't do it.
Bro, I want a beard.
You know what that's like to me?
Yeah.
That's like when guys are like really trying to hold on to their hair. I have thinning hair, and my dad's bald.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Dad. My dad's bald, and my mom has very thin hair as well. Sorry, Mom. So I'm gonna definitely be bald by the time I hit like 30 or something like that, or maybe
Bro.
35.
But
I
you
swear to
can
God.
help it now.
Listen, I can help it now, but I don't have the time to like look into it and research it and
Yeah,
buy
you
products
do.
and like no, but I don't.
You had the time to research razor blades today.
No, listen. Maybe I'll fix what I said. I do have the time to do it, but I don't
Yeah.
have the motivation to. Like, I feel like at a certain point, if I start losing my hair like rapidly,
You've accepted it, kind of.
like I'm just gonna shave it bald, and I don't like when people try to hold on to it, like my dad. Sorry, Dad. Like I like the
Shots
idea. I've shaved my head before, and I thought I looked like, say what you will, but like I was satisfied with myself, and I was happy. It was also easy to take care of. I just
Yeah.
woke up and just like get up and do.
Oh god,
do
I
my
hate
thing.
having long hair.
Yeah, it sucks. But anyway, so what was I saying?
About the whole like self-care thing,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I feel like I'm the one outlier out of the four of us because I can't stand that shit.
Mm.
It's not that it doesn't
You don't
like
shower?
never, not once in my life. It's
Dude,
not that
I was
like,
wondering what that smell is.
it's not that like, getting like a nice face wash
Oh,
every once in a
dude.
while. It's not that that doesn't feel good, but like I'm the kind of person where there's just things I'd rather be doing.
Tell me that when you got the Dr. Squatch collection that you didn't go crazy.
Dude, I want
that's-
Dr. I want
I
Dr.
mean,
Squatch so bad.
more
but-
than anything.
Dude,
I want
dude,
Dr.
dude,
Squatch.
dude,
Man, I want it.
Dude, it's dumb expensive, I think. But
know.
do you want to split it with me? Because I'd get it with you. I'd
I-
get like one of the 20 packs, and we split it 10.
I think I'd consider that.
because
I would.
I want
20.
the like.
How much is that?
I have no idea how much it is, but I know it's
want
like
to split one.
That's what Michael
Yeah,
and
let's
I
do it.
did. My brother and I, we
love
like got.
Dr. Squatch.
we-
My brother brought home one Dr. Squatch, and I used the shit out of
Let's
that.
go
when he
all
brought
three
it.
of us split like a big like huge crate of Dr.
and if
Squatch.
you're running low, Maddie, hop in, baby.
My brother and I, we split like some, like pack that was like 12 bars or some
yeah,
shit.
and God
then
bless
we
you,
just-
and you got two of them.
Yeah, and then it was a shipping error, so we got doubles, which was great. But we
What?
just took.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's real.
That's real. He got double. What do you mean that's
and
real?
you didn't share with anybody. You didn't share with us.
I mean, he
think
gave us
so.
a small square at the cottage.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
But so
It
all me,
tasted
and-
great.
all,
Ew.
all my brother and I did was we
It
just
is
took
made of
all
oatmeal.
the we just took all the bars and like cut them in half so that we could like
Yeah.
each get the use out of them. So you guys could just.
use
I remember
different
when
showers?
I remember when I was at your
Oh, yeah.
house.
Do you use different showers?
Michael and I know.
Yeah.
I remember
So
when
why
I
don't
was.
you just leave the one bar in the shower.
We're gonna
What?
use the
They're gonna
same
share
bar.
it?
What do you? It's soap.
No, we cut the bar
Okay.
in half. So my
Oh, you're
butthole-
exposing yourself right now. What do you mean?
So I don't
it's
have to
so
My
rub-
brother leaves a bar of soap in the bathroom. When you use it,
You take your bar. Okay, so you're telling me he goes into the washroom. He uses the bar of soap. We all know the last thing he cleans. You
His
take
butthole.
his asshole. You take
Why-
that
why-
same bar of soap
why-
that's been across his paint
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
put it all over your body?
Well,
Yeah.
I first put it in the shower and then I just go.
Oh,
Listen,
you
what
put it under the
Malcolm's-
water.
What Malcolm's saying isn't that out of pocket, but
I don't
think so.
personally, when Michael and I had the soaps, we were like cutting each bar in half, so it's like you get a piece and I get a half.
And engrave your name in the
I'd like to.
the
I'd like.
half, right?
I'd like to break this down even further. Like, what do you got? How do you guys shower? Because to me, I use body wash, like liquid body wash, like the soap.
Mhm.
I don't use like a bar of soap. I think I have one or two in the shower, but I don't like them. Like they kind of dried out and they're older. I have to replace them.
We're
but-
gonna want to change that to Dr. Squatch.
Yeah, definitely. I don't
Also,
want.
we're not sponsored by Dr. Squatch, but fucking
Oh
hit
my
us up,
god,
dude.
if that would be crazy.
Second episode, hit us up.
So anyway, what I was saying is like I use the liquid body wash, and then I use like my shampoo, my conditioner, everything like that. And I have a loofah, and I like my loofah, but I find that sometimes I just kind of forget to use it, and I just kind of like use the body wash with my hands and just like scrub myself.
That sounds lazy.
I've
It is
done
kind of
that.
lazy.
I used to do that too, but then I feel like this isn't cleaning me, so
It's not. It's
I
definitely not.
started
proper.
using a loofah as well with a bar of soap. Like I rub it in and then
Yes.
use the loofah. Or if I don't want to use the loofah, I just use the bar of soap in my whole body.
Well, that really, you're right, because having the loofah really scrubs like the dead skin cells out of you. Because like I feel like just rubbing with your hands is not going to do enough. Like you'll smell fine, but like I definitely got to use my loofah more often. It's there, and sometimes I grab it, sometimes I don't. I have to admit that. But.
I don't know why my mind is going to this, but has any of you ever encountered a girl who says they enjoy your BO?
Oh.
No, that's
Dude,
disgusting.
I don't know. I don't know who told that to you. If it's someone who's told that to you, but like that person has a problem.
I'm not gonna name names. We can talk after.
Protect
Honestly,
the innocent.
We
No,
can
no,
talk
honestly,
after the recording
I
is
like your
concluded.
BO.
But
Honestly, I've had that conversation before, and I've had the conversation of like I enjoy your natural smell and vice versa.
exactly.
Because of,
Your
like-
BO is one of the worst BOs out there.
No, we're not talking about but he's talking about his natural body odor. He's not talking about like when he's like
That
playing a
stank.
soccer
Oh,
game and he's like
no.
sweating
Oh,
I
balls.
thought
no.
I thought Patrick was talking about like his.
I'm talking about
his
that.
feet after like a wet soccer
I'm
day.
talking about that, and also my smell after a workout.
Are
you
I
serious,
am
dude?
100%
Wait a fucking minute. You're telling me a girl said that she liked your like stank after like
Yeah.
She's a keeper.
She's
Dude,
yeah.
that's
I mean,
crazy.
She don't mind.
I am saying that.
I thought you were just talking about like because to me it's like you wake up in the morning, you have a natural smell about you, like you're so like I've had that conversation with someone before of like I enjoy your natural smell and they enjoyed mine.
Yeah.
But in terms of like after a workout, I've never met anyone who enjoys that smell.
Yeah,
of,
and
like
I like that stank.
That weirded me out, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Say their name. Let's call them out.
Say the name.
No,
Call them out
no,
right
protect
now.
the innocent. Sorry, I know Mark, you were getting into the whole shower thing, but just because I wanted to just finish the point about like how I'm the opposite of you guys. I'm the kind of person that when I look at my nails and they're like too long and I have to cut them, I get like annoyed.
Really?
Like I'm like motherfucker. I have to spend like
Everyone
5 to
does
10
that.
minutes.
Wait, you don't get
5
annoyed?
to 10.
5 to
cutting my
10?
nails.
One.
Are you out of your damn
1
mind?
minute.
I'm like very particular.
What do you
about
mean
it.
you're particular? What does that mean?
This
I'm
guy's-
particular.
he's using a meat cleaver. No, for me, I don't get excited about cutting my nails. I get excited about shaving. I get excited about going to my
You
bathroom.
said you got
and doing
excited about clipping your nails, like clipping
Look,
self care,
listen,
clipping my nails.
I feel happy about taking care of myself. Sometimes I've had what Maddie's having, which is like, oh fuck, like I haven't cut them in a couple of weeks, and they're getting a little bit longer. But I like to keep my. If you look at my nails on any given day, they're nice and short. You guys can look at them right now.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Ooh,
And thank you very much.
Yummy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just generally I like taking care of myself. There are some things that are a little bit tedious, but generally like it makes me turn off my brain and not think about anything. Any stress or anxiety that I've had in the day, in the month, in the year, I just like everything shuts down, and I just like, I'm smiling, listening to music, shaving my face, whatever. It's awesome.
The one thing that's the most fulfilling for me is when I deal with and clean my feet and the dead skin on my feet. Because
Interesting.
just being a soccer player, I have so much buildup of dead skin. It's rock hard. Like I stick a knife through it and I cut it out.
Oh my
That's how much that is,
God.
and I don't feel
That
it.
is that.
that's a
doesn't sound-
visual.
You should go to the doctor to do
Have you
that.
guys seen?
dog.
Have
What
you
are
guys,
talking
have you guys
about?
seen
It's
videos
fine,
of?
it's fine.
Have you guys seen videos of people on Instagram of like their dead skin, and then someone like puts a cheese grater on
Yeah.
it, and
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
and then someone will like splice that together with someone else, like laying on the floor eating
Yeah,
it.
that shit fucking grosses me out.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna
Like the
ask
visual.
Malcolm though. Do you have those foot massagers?
Foot massagers?
You know the foot baths that like massage you
Oh,
too?
My
yeah,
mom,
yeah.
my
You
mom,
have that?
my mom has one of those.
Do you
You
love
like
it?
throw Epsom salts in there, and
Mm.
yeah. I
That's
got
what you
one of
do.
those.
That's what you're about.
I don't do that often. Usually, I just stand in the shower for a while, let them get nice and wet and moist, and then I'll use one of
Butter
those
knife.
scrubber things.
Do you not do that
A
often?
butter knife.
Do you not do that often because you're ashamed of yourself?
No,
Oh my
'cause I'm
God.
lazy.
You know what I want to do, by the way? This reminds me of like, part of my full time like contract for work or whatever is like there's your insurance plan covers X, Y, and Z, and for me like it covers like spas and stuff, and it covers like massages and whatever, and like physiotherapy
Get
and
on
shit.
that, yeah. Use that.
I haven't used it yet, but God, I want to. Like, I want to go to a place, and they just like they fucking relax all of your muscles. They stretch it. Like, I want the work's done to me.
If
I
you
want
get a
everything.
massage, you are gonna love
Dude, I know,
it
I
after
know.
you're done. Imagine you finish a big workout or something,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then just
God, I
going
can't wait.
all
And then also-
along. Yeah.
Like, to me, I got a taste of it when I went to Egypt. There was a barber, the best barber I've ever been to. This like older Egyptian man, dude. He gave me he put like a towel on my face. He scrubbed my face down. He did everything, and it felt so good and relaxing. And he gave me like a massage on my neck and shit. It was like give me little kisses on my cheek.
Just to build on that,
Yeah.
I also recently, in all my years going to Egypt, I never had a haircut in Cairo.
Mm.
I always got haircuts in Zifta, which is a small town.
Yeah.
But in Cairo and in richer parts in Egypt, it's
Yep.
common. Like, part of the haircut is you go in, they wash your hair, they give like they wash it with
Massage
the
your scalp and
conditioner,
shit,
they massage
yeah.
your scalp,
And
shampoo,
how much does that
conditioner.
set you back compared to
No,
here?
but that's the what do you mean?
like
Oh,
My-
so for what I paid for the washing your hair in the beginning, cutting your hair, and then
Yeah.
washing it at the end, and like having the works done.
Yeah.
I'll convert it right now.
Yeah, the conver-
170 pounds.
The conversion is going to be really good. It's going to be like dirt cheap for here. But to me, it was like I didn't even know how much my uncle paid for it. God bless him.
$11.
$11.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Goodness.
The works.
Haircuts go for like $60 here now.
Dude, they literally they wrap the towel around my face and like coat it, and like it feels like being at a spa, and I loved it and I want it every time. And now it's like I haven't gotten it in like over a year or whatever,
Yeah.
and it sucks.
Yeah.
But,
I
yeah.
just, if I was going to a place, like going to get a haircut or if like I was going to go to a spa, that might make it seem a little bit better for me. But it's just doing the self-care at home. Like shaving is another thing where like when I have to shave, I just get so annoyed because I'm like, fuck. Like,
Really?
I guess my thing is like, and this is going to be, speaking of future topics, one I have one day of like things about the human body that you want to remove
Sure.
just to like, for like a convenience sake thing. And to me, it's like, if you told me like, hey, you could always be clean and like never need to shower, never need to shave, never need to worry about like doing, any sort of like face work or like cutting your nails, like all that shit. If I could remove all that but still be like constantly clean, I would do it in a fucking heartbeat.
I would not. And the reason I would not is because even if it's like considered work and work that you don't really want to do, to me it's like if I didn't have that, then that would be like to me it's an outlet to relax. And so if I didn't have that, I would just try to find something else that would make me relax, and it's like I love that thing, so I don't want to take that away.
Yeah, I
But-
get that. To me, it's just a tedious thing where it's like when I'm doing stuff like that, all I'm thinking about is like,
I wish I was done.
boy, I could be like getting work done right now, or oh, I could be like sitting around watching TV, playing video
Mhm.
games, like that. What I would rather be doing to
But
relax.
You know what my problem has been nowadays is like I said, I'm working full time, and so when I have days off, I like clean my room, do laundry, do shit that I've been kind of neglecting throughout the week, and I do my self-care stuff. And then when I have like complete free time where I can just do whatever I want, I find myself sitting around and like my brain for some reason like finds ways to be upset. Like I'll just think about whatever and just automatically like start to I don't know. It's like I talked about this before in a previous episode or like one of the trial episodes or whatever. But I just feel like when I'm not engaged with something, my brain just allows itself to like think of things that are upsetting. So to me, it's like having activities like that fills my day and makes me feel like satisfied and happy. I don't know why.
Well, that's to me why playing a video game or listening to music or like watching
Sure,
or
yeah.
reading something is that kind of thing where it's like,
Sure.
oh, I'm focused on this, so I'm not like in my head. That's why it's like
But there are
I
so-
have trouble sleeping some nights
Yeah.
because I am just sitting there staring at the ceiling, like thinking about shit.
But to me, it's like when you're talking about video games and movies and stuff, or media in general, podcasting, like listening to podcasts, watching TV. To me, there's so many options in media that like sometimes I don't know where to start. And I'm like, yeah, I have like my regular show that I watch every once in a while, but other than that, it's like there's a million games I could be playing. So I sit there being like, I don't know what to do. So, but I know that I will shave and I will clip my nails. It's like they're so comforting to me because it's like, sure enough, every other week I'm doing the same thing,
Right. But even in that, where it's like whether I'm shaving or listening to music or, cut my nails or whatever the fuck, even in that, it's like if I'm kind of zoning out and distracted, it's not because of the activity. It is because like I'm playing a podcast in the background or like I'm listening to music. Like
Sure.
that's the thing that's like occupying my time and
Yeah.
like getting me through it. Like it's not the like
The activity itself.
the activity itself kind of
I'm
thing.
gonna ask you guys one more question, and then we can move on from the self-care topic. But
Please.
when you guys clip your nails,
Mm.
whether it's toenails or fingernails, what's your method? Because to me, I have like my garbage bin with me, and so I'll kind of like hang it over and like clip it. But then sometimes it'll miss, and I'll have to pick it up, and it's so fucking annoying. Sometimes I have like a little paper towel, and I just clip it on there and then throw. Like I've tried experimenting, but sure enough, there's always like a little bit that falls off, and I have to pick it up off the ground or off my bed. So like, how do you guys do it?
I think I'm a weirdo because, well, first off, I remember reading somewhere once that people said like, oh, if you like run the nail clippers under the water for a second and get them wet, that like helps the nails stick to them when you cut them so they don't go like flying out. I've tried that a couple times.
Interesting.
Hasn't fucking worked for
Oh,
me.
okay.
So
That's
maybe
some-
I'm
that's
doing
some
it wrong.
conspiracy
But it's
theory
probably
shit.
some like internet mumbo jumbo. I'm a bit of a weirdo though because I will literally like
Just
if
eat
I'm
them, right?
yeah, exactly. So I have two different methods. If I'm cutting my fingernails, I will literally get on my knees so that I'm at like chest level with my sink and do them right into the sink so that I'm like low enough to, because the other thing is like I
Interesting.
could just bend over and
Into
do
the
them in the sink
and then
Yes.
like just run the water
and then just run the
drain
faucet.
it.
I
Okay.
could bend over in the sink, but then like by the time I'm done, like my back's all freaking sore. So I'd rather just be like on my knees so I can keep my back straight. When I do my toenails,
Yeah.
the way I've done it like for
You put your
years
feet
now,
up on the sink.
I literally no, I'll go right to the toilet, put the seat down, and just put my
I do
fucking
that.
foot
Maddie-
right up on
I
the
do
like.
that.
So
I did the
it's like-
exact same thing.
so I'm kind of
Wow.
sticking my
Makes it
foot
so
like
easy.
almost like into the like hole of like the toilet bowl, and then just cutting them so that they go like right into the toilet.
Oh no, I don't do that.
I cut it in the toilet.
I like have the lid on so I can have my whole foot, and then I cut it on the lid, and then
so
I
where are
just,
the fucking
well, I
nails
just
going?
throw them in the garbage
But where are they going?
on the lid.
Every
Okay.
single one of them just lands neatly on the lid. They don't go like flying off sometimes.
That's been my experience. Yeah.
That's abnormal.
Yeah, you're a fucking.
So when I
weirdo.
clip them off of when I clip my fingernails,
That's
dude.
abnormal.
Patrick's
Dude.
applying like the most like dainty
Yeah,
and
yeah.
precise amount of pressure so that when it cuts, it's like a small little paper rip and not like just.
Yeah, dude. When I clip my fingernails, sometimes it's like, I clip it. But here's the thing that I usually do, and this is probably gross, and I shouldn't be doing this.
Here we go.
I'll have like my blanket or a paper towel, whatever it is, on my bed, and I'll clip my fingernails onto the thing, and then throw out the paper towel. Or if it's just sometimes I'll just do it onto my like furry blanket.
Yeah, no, bed is risky, bro.
I know it is, but like I make sure to get I make sure to like see exactly where each one landed, but sometimes they fucking fly off the rails.
I'm saying, why would you do it on
That's
your
what
bed?
I'm saying. Yeah, doing it in your room is risky because at least in the
I
bathroom,
know.
like there are times where like they go flying and I'll like look on my bathroom floor and
And just
find
be
it.
like, whatever.
And no, I'll like pick it up and like throw it out or throw it in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
toilet
yeah.
or whatever.
Okay.
But there are definitely times where I'm doing either my feet or my hands and a nail goes flying and I look around for 30 seconds for it and I go, I can't find it. Like it's just lost forever. But the thing is, it's in the bathroom, so I don't really give a shit. Where like if it was
Sure.
in my room and in my bed potentially, and
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like
yeah,
worried
yeah.
about like rolling over
I feel
on
bad
it.
for your future partner
Why?
because you
Future
don't-
partner, he has a partner.
or for your wife.
Sure.
Whatever that may
Why?
be.
Oh, sure, okay.
Just because you don't give a shit about your washroom. It could be.
It's
it
not
could,
that
it
I
could be a
don't give a shit.
hellhole of a mess.
Well,
and
who do you
don't give a
feel
shit.
worse for more, my future spouse or Mark's, who's going to be lying in bed and rolling
Yeah,
over
no,
on
it's
Dude,
Mark's.
no, no, no,
It's
no,
not
no.
even a competition.
No, let me
it's
tell you
Mark's.
something. Let me tell you something. I'm so thorough and make sure none of them get.
You can only be so thorough, Mark. She's gonna go to
Dude,
bed one day
dude, my
and
bed-
she's gonna put her head on the
No, dude,
pillow,
listen,
and it's gonna cut her skin.
Ladies, I'm great. Don't listen to him. No, here's the thing. I'm very thorough. First of all. Second of all, like I have a double size bed, and I make sure to do it. Like I don't do it when my bed is a mess. I make my bed. It's very clean. My fucking blanket is like dark gray. So any like white nail is contrasting, and I see it, and I pick it up and I throw it out. Anyway, I definitely shouldn't be doing that anymore, and I'm not going to. Maybe I'll use one of your guys' methods, but yeah.
right into the toilet.
Alright.
Anyway, that was my topic. Go fuck yourself. All right, welcome back, everybody. I think it's Malcolm's turn, the last man. Here we go.
Last man standing.
Last man, worst man. Go ahead.
We saved the worst
Save
for
the
last.
best for last.
Oh my god.
Worst to last.
All right. So what I wanted to get into was everyone's favorite albums and favorite music. I know it was someone else's topic. I stole it. I didn't tell you. I really wanted to talk about it. The second I heard about it, I was like, I want to talk about that so bad. So I'm just going to do it.
It's a bold strategy. I can get down with it though because this is a conversation I could have over and over again.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, and that would be every single one of you. We did a couple.
They
like,
don't need to know. Wait, if we release that, then why spoil it? Those don't exist.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a brand new conversation that we've never ever had
it.
before.
Yeah.
Favorite albums.
I'm gonna go ahead and say one of my top albums of all time is Neil Young's Harvest.
That's an
we
excellent
mentioned it
one.
earlier this episode. Call back.
We did.
Yeah,
That's
it's
an
a good
excellent
one.
album. Yeah. Maddie, would you like to? Because I know you have all your opinions lined up on this one. Right?
Well, I'll rattle off the ones that we didn't talk about in a previous recorded episode.
Those don't exist.
Mhm.
What is up with you? What is up with you opposing me on this?
I'll just
go with it.
I'll just rattle off a couple quick ones. I mean, obviously, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and then I would throw.
I just listened to that yesterday on vinyl in my room. I was just sitting in my bed and I was just loving it.
Were you
Loving it.
Were you in the sky?
No,
Okay.
You weren't stoned.
no.
Okay.
When was the last time you got?
At the cottage.
Oh, so that was a good while ago,
Long time
almost a
ago.
year. What the hell was I gonna say? So Dark Side of the Moon, and obviously so much of Pink Floyd stuff. Like right before Dark Side of the Moon, you have Metal, which I think is fantastic, and then obviously you have the fucking tear they went on after that with Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, Animals, and The Wall. I mean, it's just like banger after banger after banger, dude. What are we talking about here? Some Gorillaz albums I love: Demon Days, Plastic Beach, two of their like probably best albums. Even though I think a lot of their more modern stuff, Past Humans, has been really good. Like the Now was great, Strange Times was great, and Cracker Island, which just came out not too long ago, which is
I enjoyed it.
You know what's underrated?
Please.
Point of No Return, Kansas.
I love that album.
That album is so underrated. It's so
Here's-
good. What's on that album? There's Dust in the Wind is on that album.
Right.
Nobody's home.
Nobody's Home.
I love
That
that. Song.
one's a
I love when there's a
crazy
little
song.
knocking and then the violin goes on.
Yeah.
I love it.
Do they have that one? I'm not really familiar with the band, the band members' names, but one of them, he plays the violin, right?
Yeah, it's the bigger dude.
the bigger dude.
Sounds right.
Don't know his name.
Yeah, the clip of them playing Dust in the Wind live, and it's his part for the violin solo. It's so
So graceful.
like magical, graceful. Thank you. That's a better word than magical. It's graceful. I love it.
I feel like part of this thing, Malcolm, is when we didn't talk about this the first time, you weren't here for this, so now you are. So there's other things I feel like I can rattle off here for you, because there's just so many, like, specifically rock albums that I would rattle off. Like, you've got Nirvana's Nevermind,
I was about to say
which
that,
is like, to me, that's like the rock album of the 90s, of just like, just hit after hit after hit after hit.
Smells
on
Like
that
Teen
kind of thing.
Spirit, Something in the Way,
Exactly. Lithium,
bangers.
Come As You Are, and all that stuff. Like, it's just such a magnificent album. But there's so many other rock ones that, like, I deserve shout outs. Like, you've got Aerosmith's Toys in the Attic. You've got frickin' like Moving Pictures by Rush. You've got like King Crimson's Court of the Crimson King. Like, so much just great
Can I ask you,
shit.
did we talk about, I think at some point, I don't know if on the podcast, did we talk about Radiohead?
Vaguely, yes.
Because to
at
me,
one point.
I don't know if I've listened to the whole thing start to finish, but there's so many really good songs on OK Computer.
Mm.
I love that album.
It's a fantastic
Love it.
album.
OK Computer's usually considered the best. It's either that or like some people like Kid A a little more. I would probably lean slightly more towards OK Computer, but Kid A is obviously also phenomenal.
I want to tell you guys about a moment from Polaroid. Is it Polaroid Android?
Paranoid
Paranoid,
Android.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Paranoid
on,
Android.
OK Computer.
Paranoid Android. There's this part at the end where it's like dun 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 dun, dun. But then after that, there's like this like just them like humming and making noises, and it sounds angelic. It sounds so sick. I just love it.
Paranoid Android in some ways is kind of compared. Like, people will say like, oh, it's Radiohead's like Bohemian Rhapsody, where it's like one of those songs that kind of goes all over the place. Because my favorite part of Paranoid Android is the first few minutes in the beginning, like before it kind of gets to the ding 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 ding, and like it kind of picks up a bit more towards the end. Like, I love those first few minutes just because I think they're so like weird and atmospheric and shit.
I'm gonna play a part of the song and we can completely cut this out.
Let's get copyright.
Yeah,
stricken.
Yeah, I shouldn't play it, should I?
Honestly, why
That's
not?
Matt.
Honestly, why not?
Here, I'm gonna pull up the point. We can probably cut this out. I love the way that sounds. It's so
I'll
sick.
tell you what, Tom York, set of pipes on that guy. I was gonna say, I don't know how familiar you are with OK Computer, Mark, because I know you said you hadn't listened to all of it, but like in that vein, I was gonna say exit music for a film.
I haven't listened to that one.
Really good, and it's like a similar-ish sort of vibe. Like the end is kind of like this big, loud, like singing part.
So I was just gonna jump in here and also say, I like Rumors.
Oh
Fleetwood
my
Mac,
God,
and
yes.
Oh,
The
classic.
Chain, top 5 songs of all time.
It's incredible. I love that song.
I can't imagine a world where anyone doesn't include that in their top,
Yeah.
like has like at least top 10
Right.
songs of all time.
One
It's amazing. Yeah.
and one that another album that I'll throw in that I didn't throw in the last time we had this conversation was Graduation by Kanye West. Graduation's an excellent album. It's the one with like the bear on it. And it has a lot of good songs. And it has Good Morning, Stronger, I Wonder, Flashing Lights, Everything I Am, Homecoming. Like there's like 80% of the album is all like pop very popular songs. Like he just fucking killed it with that.
Okay. How about this? Okay, we'll play the Stranded Island game.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pick 3 albums.
Oh, here we go.
3 albums you get to listen to for the rest of your life.
I think I've
What
got
are those 3 albums
You
gonna be?
know what I'm gonna say?
Yeah.
I was gonna mention one album, and it's "Endless Summer" by Beach Boys.
Oh my god.
I would never pick that on the Stranded because all the songs have like a similar vibe, and it would make me go crazy.
I think
wanna-
I've got.
I can sing that all day long if I were on a Stranded Island.
I love it, but like I don't know. I feel like it's too much of one flavor. It's just like all like upbeat beach music, and I would get like tired of it. But Maddie, go ahead.
I think I
you
might have my answers here because for sure, Dark Side of the Moon is one of them,
Okay.
and the other one that like, and I was gonna actually bring this up and reference it the way my dad always does, whereas my dad always says like, desert island scenario. This album's coming with me, and I feel like it gets overlooked, criminally so. Is like the first Boston album.
Oh,
Like
bro.
More Than a Feeling.
Is that one?
Peace
Yeah,
of
More
Mind,
Than a Feeling. That one's
Foreplay,
so
Long Time,
yeah,
Hitch a Ride, like
yeah,
ba da da da, like it's just hit after hit.
Boston,
after hit
another
after hit.
underrated band.
Super underrated. Like
yeah.
so, I honestly might go with like Dark Side of the Moon, the first Boston album, and then like maybe the live Rush album I love, Exit Stage Left.
I know my
That
answers.
might be
Go
Yeah.
for
Go
it.
ahead,
my
Patrick.
3.
I know my 3. MTV Unplugged, Eric Clapton.
Yep.
I just had it on the oh
Is
my
it
god.
Bobby Darin? That's all.
That's all Bobby Darin. That's definitely number 2. And then number 3, Dawn FM, The Weeknd.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Dawn
FM.
Love Dawn FM.
Dawn FM is one. I think that's my favorite Weekend album.
Yeah,
by far.
it's
it's up
so
there.
good. So I have my R&B covered. I've got my big band singers, Bobby Darin covered, and I've got some rock covered.
May I go?
Eric
May I go
Clapton.
next here?
Yeah.
So, I was trying to think of the name of the album for a while, and I just searched it up here. This is probably one of my favorite albums ever, and I don't think I've ever mentioned it. Born to Die by Lana Del Rey. I love Lana Del Rey, and if I'm picking 3 albums, I want one that's like, her music just makes me very like emotional, and it's very like deep and like a lot. Some of it is like upbeat, but a lot of it is like kind of sad and like sorrow. And I don't know. I really like the vibe of it, so I'd say that one. I'm gonna throw Weekend in there. I'm gonna throw After Hours in there.
Solid.
That's one of my favorite albums of all time, if not
Yeah.
my favorite album of all. Like, I've said this before. Of like every single song I have saved and I like and I listen to.
He's like, his voice is,
Unbelievable.
it's not angelic, but it's
Dumb.
crazy. Like I don't know how The Weeknd. I don't know how I would describe his voice. It's just. Let me try and think of the adjective. You can keep going.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out my 3rd album pick here because
I have it. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mesmerizing.
mesmerizing.
Honestly.
It's a pretty good word.
Yeah. So definitely After Hours. Definitely Born to Die. And then I also might throw. I know this is so basic, and my answers are kind of basic, but like potentially Currents by Tame Impala. I really like Currents. It has a lot of good songs on there. Let It Happen. Less I Know the Better. The Moment.
The first time I listened, I saw a TikTok and it made me feel the exact same way. The first time I listened to Let It Happen, it was an unbelievable experience that I
So
will
good.
never experience again.
Yep.
The way the music changes up through the whole song and at the end just all comes together.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It's amazing.
It was
I'm
so
gonna
good.
throw Currents in there. After Hours, Currents, Born to Die by Lana Del Rey. Born to Die has like a lot of her big songs like Summertime Sadness. It has video games. Yeah,
Yeah.
bangers.
Okay,
No.
Malcolm.
I don't know what to choose. It's really hard. One I'm gonna choose is Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell.
Ooh, I
I
love
love-
that.
I
I've
love
actually
that
never listened to that album, but I love
No.
that song.
The album is actually I got it and I didn't expect it to be good, but it was actually unbelievable. It had Unchained Melody, his version of Unchained
Oh,
Melody
nice.
on there.
Oh, okay.
And I really liked it.
Is it better than the Righteous Brothers?
No.
Okay.
The Righteous Brothers.
What about the Elvis version?
I've been looking
I
for the
love-
Righteous Brothers vinyl for so long. Where the hell is
I don't
it?
know. I don't know. But I love I really like the Elvis version too.
Me
It's
too.
very. I was very emotional after
is,
seeing
yeah.
it like in the movie and seeing it and watching it live.
I can't take you seriously because you also like the Elvis version of Sweet Caroline.
What are you talking about? Sweet Caroline?
Sweet.
No, I love his version of My
Caroline.
Way.
Oh, that is reprehensible. That is reprehensible. Continue.
Another album I would take is Casino by Blue Rodeo.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody knows.
I've never
Blue
heard of that
Rodeo.
one. No.
I never.
I really like. They're a Canadian band. And I really like.
I
them.
know Blue Rodeo.
I went to their
but-
concert in the summer with my aunt
Oh, cool.
Oh,
and
cool.
Isabel, and it was really good.
That's awesome.
And then I don't need to think about a third one. I don't know. I want to.
You've
mix
had all
it.
this time,
I know, but I want to mix it up and get in more
so choose
more
something.
genres. But I don't want to leave anything behind. I don't need to take Neil Young because I know every song in my head like perfectly, and I don't need to hear it. 'Cause
You'll
I can
forget
hear
it.
I won't forget
Well,
it.
for some wild card albums, just because I'm looking through some
Mhm.
of my tunes here, and
Yeah,
I'm trying
I'm
to
gonna
find
throw out
like there's
some as well.
obviously some stuff like there's. Here's my watch. There's like some Hendrix stuff and like Hotel California by the Eagles, like
Oh no. What's that other Eagles?
El Dorado.
Not El Dorado.
I don't even know that has a name. Is it just the Eagles
No, it's called
with Witch Woman?
With Witchy Woman.
I think it's just called the Eagles. I don't think it has a name. Okay, my third album is gonna be America's Most Wanted by Ice Cube.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
Honestly, one that's Patrick. I think you're gonna like this one.
Mhm.
One that I forgot about, but I really, really love, and it has so many good songs on it. Is "All Things Must Pass" by George Harrison.
That's an
Mm.
incredible
Oh,
album.
how
It's
did I
incredible.
not
Isn't that a
think
good
of
album?
that one?
That's a great album.
I paid $100 for that shit.
Really?
God.
Wow, it's worth it. It's a great
It's
album.
a great album.
It is a great album, and you're right. It is called Eagles, Malcolm.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that? Every time I think about that album, I'm like, I can't. That album was made in 1970.
Also, another thing about that album, it's huge, bro.
Yeah, I haven't
so
listened
many
to it.
Holy
songs.
shit,
Yeah.
I just know that there's like my favorite songs on there are "Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp,"
Mm-hmm.
"Let It Roll," "My
Isn't
Sweet
it-
Lord," of course.
Of course, isn't it a pity is good too?
I've actually never heard that one.
Mhm.
I've heard "What Is Life." I've heard
What Is Life is
"If
good.
Not for You" is one of my
Oh,
favorites.
yeah.
Love
I think
it.
one of my favorites on that album is "Hear Me, Lord." I love that song.
Why can't
I haven't heard that
remember
one.
how
Honestly,
goes?
I got to go through and listen to the whole thing.
Can you
'cause
hum
it's-
it, Malcolm?
I'm just gonna play it and you can grab it out.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, it's like an infinite thing because I was just looking through some of my tunes and it's like the first Van Halen album, Rolling Stones albums, a bunch of like Zeppelin stuff. Like there's specifically with my beloved
forget
rock
about
and
Led
roll,
Zeppelin.
right?
I love it.
But even in trying to pick like some wild cards, like there's obviously I rattled off earlier a couple Gorillaz albums that I like, but it's like there are other like great albums that like are more outside of my like rock and roll wheelhouse that like are contenders for things where it's like I think of like Random Access Memories, the Daft Punk album with like Get Lucky and a bunch of like
Oh, that one
songs
has
on
Get
that.
Lucky?
That's like a great album. Or I think about like the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, the Kendrick
New
Lamar
Kendrick
album
one, yeah.
that's
from
like
last
that's
year.
great
There's a
album.
lot
where
of
it's
good,
like
that.
dude. Every
a
time I listen,
really good album.
I think you were talking to me about this. Every time I listen to parts like songs on the album, there's another one that I like that I didn't know that I liked.
Mhm.
It's like this,
Yeah. Honestly, if Jack Harlow keeps it up, in the future, I think I could see myself saying a Jack Harlow album.
is one of your
That's like
favorites.
one of my favorites. Yeah.
I forgot one that I really, really love and I want to throw in. It's called Titanic Rising by Ways Blood. I think I've played some of the songs before. There's one song called Movies. And it's just like, literally the song is her talking about her love for, like singing about her love for movies. And I'm like, I don't know, I just love the song. It's so, the concept is so simple but so beautiful. And the way she talks about it, about how like, when she used to watch movies as a kid, they were like larger, it felt larger than life. And I don't know, it's just like that you can't ever live up to how amazing the things are that you're watching on the screen are. Anyway.
Another honorable mention for me is "Let's Stay Together" by Al Green.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
Love
yeah.
that album.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many. We could go all day.
And
naming
someone I've been listening more to recently that I haven't listened to at all in the past is Smashing Pumpkins.
They've
never
got
heard
some good
I
shit.
really
Heard
like
before.
Smashing Pumpkins.
They got like Today's great, Cherub Rock's great, 1979's great.
Mhm.
Those are like, I know they're like, that's like the basic bitch answer of like, oh, what's your favorite Smashing Pumpkins? What's your favorite Smashing Pumpkins song? It's like everybody's gonna say Today or whatever.
Honestly,
Yeah,
let's
they got
not
some
leave
good
out.
shit.
There's a what's the name of this album? I need to find it. Parachutes by Coldplay.
Oh, for sure, some Coldplay stuff, or like a rush of blood to the head, or is a sudden
Yeah.
rush of blood to the head, whatever the hell that album's
some-
called. But the one with
yeah.
like clocks and the scientist.
Oh, I
on
love
it.
that album.
I mean,
It's
like,
so good.
come on, what are we talking about here? It's Great shit. Yeah, it's just an infinite. That's kind of the thing with it is it's like favorite albums, and it's just like an infinite
Yeah.
like
Forever. You
question.
can go forever.
I'm just like, oh, and then this album, and then this album, and then this album. Like it's just on and on and on and
What's
on.
that? Patch, do you know the that what's his name?
Patrick Swayze.
Still beating.
Oh,
Mac DeMarco.
Yeah, that
a
Dog
good
Days
album.
one, is that what
Yeah,
it's
I
called?
think it's called Dog
I
Days.
really
That's a
like
good
that
one.
one too.
Yeah.
That album's
I
really
like that
good.
album. Well, it's been fun.
So much music.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Wildly Adequate.
Yeah.
Go on.
This
and
week's
on
episode,
forever.
rather.
How do we all feel about? I enjoyed myself tonight, boys.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
must say, yeah.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad.
It looks like you're scheming. What are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
That was an assault on the senses.
Okay, we need to lean
All right,
away
all
from.
right. Okay. Well. Thanks for tuning
It's
in.
devolving, man. You just cut.
Yeah,
it's devolving.
It's
Hey,
falling
ready?
apart here.
Run, get around, I get around.
I get a rap.
Highway to the danger zone. Bang, bang.
Right
Oh, no.
into the danger zone.
Bow, 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 bow.
Or
I mean, Top Gun.
Watching every move.
I've got a feeling, it's a feeling I'm concealing.
How
I
did we
don't
leave
out
know
Frank?
why.
Or is that Dean?
Frank
No,
Sinatra.
That's
I was
Frankie.
gonna say,
Where's
how
that?
did we leave
And
Frank?
It's just
now,
another-
Yeah,
Yup.
How did we leave out Frank?
And now the end is near.
Here's what I'll say, just because I'm glad. I'd like to end and begin with Top Gun.
Yeah.
One of my favorite memes to come out after Top Gun Maverick was one of the My Brother in Christ memes, where it's like people being like, "Oh, Top Gun is just military propaganda," and then people being like, "My Brother in Christ, it worked, tripled the defense budget." And I just,
Also, Pet
I get
Sounds. Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys as well.
there we
That's
go.
good.
Wouldn't it be nice?
I mean, of course. So I think that's what we can all agree on is triple the defense budget.
God Only Knows is a great song as well.